Tonight on the Black Channel, we're not just a mass market part of American culture. We're not just the biggest part of American culture. We are the Rolls Royce of American culture, of all cultures. The Black Channel is live. Unapologetic, unadulterated, and absolutely uncompromising. Greetings, brothers and sisters from around the world, and welcome back to the home, the haven, the stronghold, and the everlasting super fortress of intelligent black thought. We are the Black Media, and this is the Black Channel. And I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the voice of Black America, the Black Authority, broadcasting to you live from the only historically black college and university of higher education and learning in the cosmos. You are, of course, welcome to join us. And join us you shall, because on tonight's program here, we gonna take a trip, is what we are going to do. Because, as I stated here earlier here, we are the undisputed, only historically black college and university of higher education and learning. And tonight we are going to fulfill our purpose and our mission statement by explaining to you all that you have never had it stated to you like this before in your lives. But after it's been stated here tonight, you can go rah, rah, rah. Yeah, that's great. No. I want you to understand exactly what it means. I want you to understand exactly what it means. When we have this conversation about culture, about the descendants of the slaves and what we built from nothing, totally divorced from anything and everything else, it was outlawed for us for anything else, everything else. We had to have that ingenuity imbued in us in the very soil itself. And out of that has come an unmatched and unparalleled genius, but also an unmatched and unparalleled culture. And I'm going to walk you through it here tonight. And it's not just that it's a culture. It's not just that it's one of them. We are not just one of them. We are the Rolls Royce of cultures. We are the bespoke pinnacle of it, that hand-stitched, carved, crafted from the most precious of resources and materials. You can't get here overnight. This isn't a mass market product that just any old body can run up and here we go. It does not work that way because it cannot work that way. We are not just one in a million. We are the only one ever. We're not just one in a million. We're not just a one-off. We're not just one of one. We are the only one ever. We're about as close to perfection as you are possibly going to ever be able to get. No, I am not overstating the case. And I would like to show you exactly what I mean by that. I'd like to show you exactly what I mean by that. Many people here now around the world have been witnessing as Deion Sanders has come to Colorado and has redefined college sports. Let me explain to you all what the significance of this is. For those of you who don't know, sports cannot survive on diehard fans. That is a misnomer. That is one of the biggest misnomers and misconceptions of sports, entertainment, selling tickets to anything. You cannot survive on diehard fans. You have to have casual fans. You can't, if you have a movie franchise, you can't survive on diehard fans of the franchise. Tom Cruise can't rely on diehard Tom Cruise fans. You can't make that money like that. Every genre of sport and entertainment, The real money is made from the casual fans, not the diehard. You see, the diehard people are going to show up no matter what occurs. But by definition, diehard fans are a niche. By definition, it doesn't matter. We all are familiar with football, but they're diehard fans, which is why you got the folks who can tell you where every game for every team going to be played, whether it's a home game or an away game. Yeah, but that's not the overwhelming majority. 10 or 15% of you might be able to be diehard fans. But the overwhelming majority will be casual fans. So the question is, you're going to have to be able to prove and show that you can connect to the casual fan. Now, what is the problem with this? Your diehard fans, many of those are what you call purists. They know all the plays, they know all the coaches, they know the history of it. Yeah, but casuals don't. And because casuals don't know it, casuals don't care. They're not married to it. So the things that you're like physics students, you love talking about splitting particles and splitting neutrons, and casual folk are like, hey, can you make the bomb go boom? And you're looking at them with contempt. It's like Ferrari. For those of you who remember Enzo Ferrari, the creator of the car you call the Ferrari, Enzo Ferrari was a racing person. He was a racing purist. If you all remember, and I've told you this story here before, he didn't want people who were not racing people to drive his cars. He was adamant that he should not sell his car to the general public. That's why you have the outrageous prices you have, not so much because that's what it costs to make it, because Enzo Ferrari's philosophy, his personal philosophy was, I don't fool with the general public. Why, you're the peons. You're the unwashed masses. You don't truly appreciate what this magnificent machine is. And so he literally had contempt for customers. Well, eventually the company let him know, hey man, if we don't sell to some people who are not race car drivers, there won't be a company because there are not enough race car drivers to buy the Ferrari. So Enzo Ferrari, to stay in business, eventually broke down and started selling to the general public, but then they still have crazy requirements. And we all know that that's what occurred because it got so bad that one of his prime customers was a fellow named Fabrizio Lamborghini. And Fabrizio liked to race cars too, but he was telling Ferrari about the errors and the deficiencies in the design. Some of the things that needed to be improved. And Enzo Ferrari told him, you're just a tractor maker. You're too busy riding your tractors. If you think you can do what we do, why don't you build your own? This is what he said to one of his customers, Fabrizio Lamborghini. And Fabrizio Lamborghini said, you know what? I'll take that as a challenge. Well, we all know how that turned out, don't we? Before it was over, Lamborghini's car was beating Ferrari at the races. But that's the attitude of die-hard sports people. They're purists. We need to maintain the purity of it, the X's and the O's. We need to distill it down to that. That's not the way casual fans operate. That's not the way casual fans operate. Casual fans don't operate that way. Casual fans want energy. Casual fans want excitement. Casual fans want something that they can personally identify with. So rigidity is something that casual fans stray away from. Purists love rigidity. Casual fans don't. And that is why you got to get the casuals. Deion Sanders, like most black men from the soil who've gotten into sports, from Jack Johnson to Joe Louis to a lesser degree, Muhammad Ali on. We've understood that the X's and O's, the newspaper columnists who love to write the columns, those people treat these things like religions. We understood that, yeah, sports sells, but personalities sell even more. And we've always understood the necessity of expressing and exhibiting our personality into it, with them telling you, you shouldn't do that. Now, how is us injecting our personality into it hurting the sport, hurting the craft, hurting the genre? It isn't, but it's hurting the sensibilities of the people who are married to the rigidity of being diehard about it. And then you find out that the people who are being diehard about it, they're doing it because it benefits them. Keeping those strict rules, it benefits them. So then you have Deion Sanders, who even in the NFL was never afraid to showboat, but he understood something. If all of us are out here wearing the same uniform, which is essentially what football players are playing, you are all out here wearing the same uniform. You got my face covered. Yeah, my name is on my back, but it's just my name and my number. Other than that, I don't stand out. So the team, remember in the NFL, they pooled the money from merchandising, remember? They collect all that together. They pool that money. So, yeah, I mean, I can get out there and make touchdowns or whatever, but nobody can see me. And I don't stand out. If I don't do something to stand out, then I'm just going to be another number running around the field, which is exactly what the NFL wants, exactly what the NCAA wants. They just want you to shut up and dribble and let them take home and hoard all the money. You just become a number, and what you do is you end up amplifying the league, or you end up amplifying the association, but you end up getting diminished. So you just become yet another number that was cycled in and cycled out, which is what they want. You don't have any residual value that you can carry somewhere else where you can capitalize on it independent of the league or the association. That's why Vince McMahon, I gotta say it, Vince McMahon, when you come to the WWE, he crafts a character for you that he can copyright and trademark. And if he can get your character over, it belongs to the WWE, but it's not something that you can pick up and go take somewhere else. So you can enhance the WWE, but you cannot enhance yourself outside and separate from the WWE. And what I'm saying tonight is not news. What I'm saying tonight is not news, people. If you didn't know it, now you do. But what I'm saying tonight is not news. That's always been the strategy of the NCAA, the NFL, the NBA, to reduce you down to a number, to make you just another automaton running up and down the field, running up and down the court. So you enhance and increase the value of the league, but you do not become bigger than the league. Folks, Floyd Mayweather Jr. is bigger than boxing. Y'all know it. Floyd Mayweather Jr. is bigger than boxing. That's a nightmare scenario for a league or an institution. You have a person who's supposed to be working for you. Now he's bigger than you. He calls the shots now. When he walks in the room, he throws the contract down and he tells you what the terms of the contract will be. That was the problem with Michael Joseph Jackson. After Thriller, Michael Joseph Jackson, let me just call him Michael Jackson, he became bigger than the music industry. So when he walked into a boardroom, he handed them the contract and told them what the terms would be and said to them what the cut was going to be. They didn't tell him what the cut was going to be. He told them what the cut was going to be and then walked off with the Beatles catalog. You don't want somebody like that getting bigger than you. Now he eclipses you. I can go down the list, but you all get it. Hell, when Mike Tyson was in boxing, Tyson was bigger than boxing. Mike Tyson is the reason, and yes, the WWE admits this. Eric Bischoff has talked about this. Mike Tyson is the reason that WWE is still in business today, because Tyson liked WWE better than he did WCW. So when he got out of prison, they had him in that storyline with him and Steve Austin. Yeah, they wanted to get him at WCW, but Tyson was a WWE fan. He wanted to be in the ring with Austin, even though they were down in the ratings for 83 weeks. Tyson showing up at WrestleMania breathed new life into WWE. Breathed new life into it. He was bigger than boxing. He was bigger than boxing. Some dumbass in the chat room said Tyson didn't have the intellect. Dude, here, take your sippy cup and get back in the high chair. Mike Tyson has one of the highest boxing IQs ever. Mike Tyson was on drugs. For those of you who did not know, Mike Tyson was like Bobby Brown and the rest of them. That's the reason why he ran around with Bobby. They was on drugs. Mike talks about it now. He was on drugs, cocaine, the whole damn 9 yards. Soon as he got off the pipe, soon as he got clean, what do you know? One-man show, marijuana dispensaries, millions of dollars. Mike Tyson wasn't never dumb. Mike Tyson wasn't never stupid. Mike Tyson was on the cocaine. Hell, you're right, he was spitting philosophy back then. In the ring, he was doing it. Mike wasn't stupid, but what they do to you in the business, y'all know, some folk here don't know, somebody enlighten the young man or young woman who don't get it. When you're a black person, what's the first thing they do? They bring you drugs, or they bring you white women, or they bring you both. They want to make sure that before you get into a situation where something like that can happen, they sit up here and make sure you on the pipe. They come to you early. Y'all know that? Tariq will tell you that. Soon as they bring you into the corporate office to make a deal with you, they like, hey, by the way, you need some drugs, you need some coke, you need some white women, you need some heroin. They want to make sure you get messed up before you ever get down the road. That's standard operating procedure. Why do you think there's so many rappers today who are strung out on drugs and every damn thing else today? Right now, today, they strung out on them. Molly's, Percocets, God knows what else. Why do you think that's standard operating procedure? Here's some Molly, here's some Percocets. Now sign this record contract. That's literally the way it works. My people who live in Los Angeles, y'all see that every damn day. My people who live in New York, you see that all the damn time if you out here on the streets. Here's some drugs, here's some coke, here's some pills, here's a couple blondes. Now sign this contract. Wait till you take the drugs first. Let's get them on the drugs first. Now come on in and sign this contract with us. Come sign this. The problem with the internet is that it allows anybody to type anything no matter how low their intellect is. So Tyson's not the one with the low intellect. You are. Maybe this will be an opportunity for you to address that. In any case, we understood that we got to be able to market ourselves. Otherwise, we get swallowed up, and then you give all those years of effort where you could have gotten a whole lot more out of it, and you end up dropping off with them. If you all agree with what I'm saying here tonight, give me the black fist and hit the likes button for me. It's over 4,000 people in here live in just the first 15 minutes. But if they're not liking the program, let me go ahead and cut it short. But if you like what you hear tonight, give me the black fist and hit the likes button for me. I'm giving you the 720 degrees of analysis you'll receive nowhere else because there's a bunch of you who are very young and you don't know all the details of this. So Deion Sanders was over there at Jackson State. He's in Mississippi. They ain't ready for prime time, literally. And Deion is like, hey, y'all trying to run a Bush League here. I came from the NFL to show you how we really get it done. Folks, you can't argue with it because he showed up in Colorado and he hasn't even had to miss a step. Got Colorado up to speed immediately. And yes, it's because his son is quarterback there. He gonna make sure his son is not being held back. Nothing wrong with that at all. And anybody who wants to talk about nepotism, Step number one, kiss my ass. Step number two, I got one word for you: Manning. Nobody has ever said any of this about the Manning boys. First there was Archie, then next thing you know, here come all his sons. Nobody has ever said nothing about the Manning boys. So you can miss me with all that. If his son was out there screwing up and messing up, that'd be headline news. In any case, so Deion shows up. He tells you what it's going to be. All of a sudden, the casuals, now the casual people, NFL fans who may become disaffected, not following the NFL anymore, now all of a sudden, they're interested in what's happening over there. Now they want to see what's going on. So you see, that's where the real money is made. But under ordinary circumstances, all the money stays with the NCAA and the university. You don't get none of that. So you're instrumental in bringing attention and thus dollars to them, but they've set the system up so it cuts you out. You don't get a piece of that. If the arena was half full before you showed up, and now the arena is completely sold out after you showed up, you don't get none of that. You don't get that. They get that. You sitting over here like, well, I contributed. And Deion Sanders is a part of this generation of black men who are like, yeah, no, you're going to have to give me what I'm worth. You can't, we ain't signing these slave deals anymore. You're going to have to break us off what we worth. If I'm producing for you, then I deserve to eat what I kill. And if I made the pot bigger, I deserve my cut. You ain't giving me an opportunity to do a damn thing. I'm a professional. I know what to do. So Deion showed up and he brought the magic. Deion showed up and he brought the primetime magic. It's not Deion's fault that the other coaches are stodgy and rigid and cobweb covered and adhering to the old obsolete rules because they think that they're going to get respect among their peers in the association at the cocktail parties when they show up. What they do is they teach you and condition you that you can't shine. You're not supposed to shine. Yeah, because then you become bigger than the league. And the problem is, if you become bigger than the league and if you start winning. Folks, if you start winning, you are impervious. What do you do about somebody who is bigger than the league and he's impervious? Now you kind of just stuck with it. Folks, if Deion was a loser, this would be a whole damn different discussion. If he was losing, they would love to talk about him even more if he was losing, so they could shut him up. But Deion has shown up and he's brought the magic. He's brought the magic. He came to a team that wasn't doing a damn thing. Showed up and immediately he has been an injection. What does this tell you all? He did the same thing at Jackson State. Now he's doing it bigger and better in Colorado. What does that tell you? That tells you the other coaches have been doing this wrong. Deion has an X factor. Deion has a personality. And that's what he's leveraging with the players and the fans and the game. These other coaches walking in there like Sunday school teachers. And the students don't really respect them. They respect Deion because you know what? These young men ain't making the bag like that, but they can get adoration, and Deion knows how to deal with attention and adoration. They're like, hey, we want to do it big. Because that gives you confidence. That gives you confidence. And that's an important element to have. However, my likes are kind of low here tonight. So folks don't like this program. This is not the kind of material they really want to hear. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and play a brief commercial break here because I have to do that. Then we're going to go ahead and wrap up tonight's program. This is The Black Channel.
Hello, my name is Steve Burgess, and I'm a certified elementary school teacher and have been for 23 years. I'm the author of this book, Guidelines for the Successful Student, a closer look at parenting your school-aged child. In this book, I've explained the role of the parent and the student in addition to what accommodations, procedures, rewards and consequences and expectations that need to be in place to ensure student success from primary to high school. This book is available on Amazon.com. For more information, please visit my link tree at Easy One-on-One and to access my latest podcast, A Teaching Moment with Mr. B.
A white supremacist assassin seeks revenge. Corrupt FBI agents with evil intentions. Dangerous black collaborators dedicated to treason. Occam Jeffers must defeat them all and somehow survive. One misstep and he's a dead man. Join Occam Jeffers as he looks the devil in his blue eyes and tells him, Black first. A sequel to the underground hit War of the Heart, Spirit of 1811 Publishing presents God Love Us, on sale at Amazon. Pre-order and save today. Visit spiritofo1811publishing.com and show your love.
More Threads, a brand owned by a descendant of Black American freedmen, was created to uniquely address Black American history and contributions that have been intentionally hidden and suppressed. Use their apparel and more to learn and share the Black American history of Black inventions, heroes, towns, Black business districts, and more. Sign up and support not only a Black-owned business, but a movement at www.morethread.co.
Order yours today to experience all the benefits of Ash Kickin' Natural Body Butter with skin so smooth and soft, you'll thank us for it. Shop Ash Kickin' online. That's ASHKICKIN.com.
Hi, this is Brenda Starr, creator of Poetry with a Purpose and author of the book Pressed But Not Crushed. Pressed But Not Crushed is an anthology of political poems that address current and historical issues in American descendants of slave population and African American population. The book describes slaveries and its residuals, Jim Crow segregation, social depredation, and other relevant issues to American descendants of slaves and African Americans, including the current political climate that does not address our issues.
And this concludes tonight's wait a minute, let me see. Oh, okay, they do like the program. Maybe I was looking at it wrong. Okay, they do like it. Well, all right, let me go ahead and just continue then. I guess we had a momentary aberration there. We are the Rolls Royce of culture, and Deion is a perfect example why that is. Because what he's doing is he's bucking the system and going against the grain. People, you can't stand out if you don't go against the grain. If you allow them to turn you into just another drone, just another carbon copy, you don't stand out. So what we have learned, our history is a culture of resistance. I've told you this now for a decade and a half. Ours is a culture of resistance here. That's not what you see in the Caribbean and Africa. So they had some sparks for a little bit, but that's gone for the most part. We're trying to get the game back in them. We have a consistent track record here in America. Those of us who survived the killing fields of slavery, we have a persistent, consistent track record of survival, of resistance, and that has worked its way into everything we've done. Everything. Shout out to the super chat too, by the way. Finger lasers and everybody else there in the super chat. Thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. Let me cook. Let me go ahead and barbecue. Folks, so they mad that Deion Sanders, the coach of Boulder, was throwing shade because this is supposed to be their domain. This is supposed to be their domain. Y'all don't understand this. The coaching positions and the quarterback positions, they're supposed to be just a few token black positions. But let's keep it real. At the end of the day, that's supposed to belong to the white dudes. The lion's share is supposed to belong to them. The coaching and quarterback positions are supposed to be theirs. That's supposed to be set aside so they can have theirs. So yeah, the Negroes can get a few dimes in here, they can give you crumbs off the table, but other than that, the lion's share is supposed to belong to the white dudes. The so-called leadership positions. Yeah, because you know, as coach, you get to decide who makes it and who flops. Oh, but that's true. You all hadn't thought about it that way. Casuals haven't. Hardcore fans sometimes think of it that way. But the truth of the matter is, the coach can decide what players fly and which players flop. If the coach wants to sit on a player, no matter how good he is, he's not out there making numbers. He's not out there getting seen. So the coach can derail your whole career before you get started. So if you got the white coaches and they've decided Eli Manning is the guy, then we're going to go with Eli Manning. It doesn't matter who else is on the team. If the white coaches decide this is the guy, then it doesn't matter what the black kid on the team is doing. They're going to sit on you. Because the coach has the backing of the university, and the university has decided this is the guy. And at that point, you're going to need a miracle for you to break out of that and be seen. Somebody said Cam Newton and Tim Tebow. We can go down the list. The list is longer than that. But yeah, by the way, yeah, if they decide they're going to sit on you, then that's what's going to happen. So you got the coach of Boulder, and he's here to let you know this is unbecoming of what we do here. It truly is. He said during this radio show, I don't care if they hear this in Boulder, whoever the hell he is from. I told them, ESPN, I took my hat off and I took my glasses off. He's talking about during the press conference. I said, when I talk to grown-ups, I take my hat and glasses off. That's what my mother told me. Yeah. Make sure I got this straight. That's Colorado State head coach. Said that to Deion. Was talking about Deion. When I talk to grown-ups. So you got this man sitting up here trying to police another grown man. Do you think about that for a few moments? Trying to police another grown man. Would he ever say that to any of the white coaches? He's trying to police another grown man. A grown man who outranks you. Let's be very, very clear. A grown man who outranks you. Jay Norvell, who the hell are you? Deion has played at the very highest levels of the game. Who the hell are you? Nobody knows you. You played at the highest levels of Colorado State. Deion has played at the highest levels of the game. Who the hell are you? You know what? Maybe if you got you a pair of nice sunshades, y'all would have played better. Just a thought. Maybe something in your wardrobe is missing. So Deion came back and he played past it. He really sidestepped it. And he was just like, you know what? We gonna show you what it's about. But on top of that, as you can see, Deion did what Deion does. And this is why we are the Rolls Royce of culture. Folks, do you understand? It really doesn't matter what the outcome of the game was. Do you understand that? It really doesn't matter. Folks, that's the way that the NFL sees it. Whether it's Colorado University, Colorado State, whatever. That's the way the NFL sees it. Remember, I told you all years ago there was a female reporter. I can't remember what it was, but it was college basketball. And she was talking to the head of the NCAA. It was during the Final Four, the championship game. She was talking to him. They were bantering back and forth. It was great. She's talking to him about the teams. And then she finally asks him, so which team are you rooting for tonight? I will never forget it. She asked him, so which team are you rooting for tonight? And he responded to her, we're the NCAA. It doesn't matter who wins tonight. We all win. Folks, that's how you get rich. Not just in America, but in life. The other folks are down there fighting for one side. You be the fellow who's betting on the game. Even in the stock market, if you invest in an index fund, which takes an index of the entire stock market, rather than trying to pick and choose individual stocks, you outperform folks doing individual stocks. The NCAA said it doesn't matter who wins. We all win. Doesn't matter which individual team wins, we win. No. When he said we, he talking about the NCAA. He's not talking about the school. He's not talking about the students. You wouldn't have needed Ed O'Banion if the students win. If the students playing basketball win, you wouldn't have needed Ed O'Banion to file his lawsuits. And that situation has still not been resolved across the board. No, it's not we all win. It's we, the NCAA, win, because these two teams play under our umbrella. We're the ones who negotiate the TV contracts, merchandising, everything else. We win. And Deion understands that. And he just ain't playing the fool anymore. So everybody else is trying to play nice. Deion's like, yeah, damn nice. That's the difference. It's a difference of mindset. It's a difference of being set apart. Yeah, you're supposed to walk out there and tell yourself, I'm bigger than the league if I'm outperforming the league. I'm bigger than the association if I'm outperforming it. And so Deion went to work and did what Deion does. He didn't take the sunshades off. He knew he was marketing. And as you all can see, he's moving millions of dollars. College athletics has not been operating at this level, and the few times it does, it has to be some top-ranked teams who went through decades of work to get their name out there. Deion has turned them into a superstar team within a matter of weeks. You know why? Because he played in the NFL, and he saw how it was done there. He saw how him and others did it there. All he did was bring the magic to college and let all the folks in college be behind the curve. They're obsolete. Deion is ahead of the curve. They're still using obsolete mentality and obsolete philosophies. Deion has brought the new way under the sun, which is really the old way. You all have just been artificially handicapped. Deion's just like, yeah, I ain't going to get handicapped. I'm not going to get handicapped. But the reason that this happened was because of our innate culture of resistance. The man told Deion to sit down, and Deion said, dude, chill for what? Chill for what? That's the way that we respond. Some of these newcomers from other places, they've been conditioned that when white society tells them pipe down, yes, boss. Yes, boss. We didn't mean to make no trouble right there. I want to represent y'all well now. I don't want to get no trouble. We over here like, man, if you don't back the hell up, I'm grabbing these dollars if you don't back up off me. You see, if you didn't create our culture here in America, if you didn't go through what we've been through and through our experiences, this is foreign to you. You trying to find some white ass to kiss somewhere. What Deion did, you sitting there like, sacrilege. You don't want to make those white folks angry at you, sir. You just got here. The newcomers and the old niggas. Yeah, I said it. The newcomers and the old niggas would be sitting here telling Deion, you better stop with all that right there. You gonna get in trouble. You gonna get them folks mad at you. That's the problem with you uppity niggas. Y'all, you just got here. You just got here. You just got here. Making trouble already. You just got here. Man, they gonna have you out of here. You just got here. Let's be very, very clear about something, folks. Colorado University knew what they were hiring. That's the first damn thing. You're out of touch if you don't understand. They knew what the hell they were hiring. But that's because they got nothing to lose. The program sucks. So this is the way it is with any team, any organization, any company, any music group. When sales are terrible, when they in a slump, nobody cares what you do. Get somebody in here who can make things better. All of a sudden, all the people putting artificial handicaps on you, nobody's listening to them. Folks want answers. So they knew what the hell they were hiring with Deion, and they knew that attention comes with him. At the very least, our profile is going to be raised so we can go get us another coach. I'll be damned. It don't look like you don't need to do that anytime soon. If you thought that Deion was going to get a spotlight on your school on your way to another coach, by the way, it looks like that just got derailed. Looks like that just got derailed, by the way. And now what Deion showed you is it doesn't matter how hot the spotlight is. He's ready for it. That's what it means to be cultivated in our culture of resistance. Let me deal with another thing here right quick. To all the purists out there upset with Deion because he's bigger than the game. And yes, I said it. Y'all can hashtag that Deion's bigger than the game. Cause it's true. They want to sit up here and wag their finger at you. No one is bigger than the game. No one is bigger than the game. That is sacrilege. Nobody's bigger. Deion acts like he's bigger than the game. No one is bigger than the game. No one's bigger than the game. Shut your ass up. I'll show you bigger than the game. Jason, why are you yelling this? Because nobody else is telling it. You want to see bigger than the game? Even us football casuals know about Nick Saban. He been bigger than the damn game now. For what? 15, 20 years? And they ain't said a damn thing to him. They treat him, let me go all the way back. You got to have a historical perspective on this. Let's go all the way back. Jack Johnson, you doing too much. Jack Johnson, you doing too much. You too flashy. You making too much money. You doing too much. Think about that for a few moments. Jack Johnson, you doing too much. But you know who they didn't say that to? Babe Ruth. For those of you who are too young to know it, and of course I wasn't even born then too, but everybody knows the story. Babe Ruth, why he became the biggest name in baseball, and then a scandal at the time, baseball paid him more money than the president of the United States. And do you all remember what Babe Ruth said when the reporter said, hey, your latest contract, you're making more money than the president of the United States. What do you say to that? Babe Ruth said, I had a better season than he did. And you know what happened next? The newspaper reporters and the TV reporters, oh, that's so funny. That's so funny. You go, Big Bambino, yeah. Yeah, that was funny when he said it. That was funny that he was bigger than the game. That was funny that he was directly comparing himself to the President of the United States and said, I had a better season than him. That was funny when he did it. They were laughing. They were joking. They were patting him on the back. They were like, hey, that's a good one. That's a zinger. That was good. Jack Johnson, we're going to lynch every nigga in this town. Now you got Nick Saban. Nick Saban is literally, people, listen to me. Nick Saban is literally part of the budget of the state of Alabama. You got the nerve to say something about Deion Sanders. And Nick Saban is literally part of the budget in the state of Alabama. No, I'm not joking. I'm not exaggerating. He's literally part of the state budget. Literally. Jason, what do you mean? This is the latest contract. For those of you who've been following me here on the Black Channel for over a decade, you know I covered the last contract. Well, guess what? He's got a new contract that runs through 2029. Because what he's gotten so far is not enough. Well, let's take a look at the details of this. And yes, I'm going to read it. They're going down here. I want to go into the details of this. Nick Saban contract details. Alabama hired Nick Saban in 2007 for an initial 8-year deal worth $32 million. And while 07 may not feel too long ago, it's eons in the world of college football and its coaching contracts. Since then, he's more than doubled his annual pay, racked up millions in bonuses, and ensured he will stay at the top of the college football salary mountain for as long as he wants to continue coaching. I thought this will be performance-based. Well, if you're not performing, out you go. That's the way it goes there. Ha, 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 pal. Folks, they shameless about this. They're shameless about it while they wagging their damn fingers at Deion for wearing a pair of damn shades. Here are the basics of his contract. Signed August 2022. Length 8 years through 2029 season. Annual base salary $305,000. Now look here. The base salary is $305,000. Talent fee. This is not part of the base salary. Talent fee, $9.595 million. Take a look at this. Annual retention bonus. The retention bonus is damn near 3 times his base salary. His retention bonus is damn near 3 times his base salary. $800,000. That's the retention bonus. That ain't his base salary. His base salary is the chicken feed. Total salary for the 2022 season, $10,700,000, and that does not include performance or academic bonuses. So in other words, the number is over $10 million, way over $11 million. While Saban's base yearly salary and retention bonus are static through the terms in his current deal, the talent fee, that's where he gets the bulk of his money, is set up with regular raises. He will make $9.595 million talent fee this year and next year, 2023, before the annual $400,000 raises kick in. Folks, they are simply fire hosing money at this man. Just to keep him in the state, they are fire hosing money on him. He's getting money literally to do nothing. Now take a look at this. Nick Saban's talent fee salary by year. This is that talent fee salary I told you about before. As you see, it's separate from everything else. This is the talent fee year after year. 2024, $10,395,000. 2025, $10,795,000. 2026, $11,195,000. 2027, $11,595,000. 2028, $11,995,000. 2029, $12 million. Folks, are you kidding me? They gonna tell you about what we don't have money for in the budget in Alabama. They gonna tell you that there's no money for reparations. Plenty of money for Nick Saban. Tons of money for Nick Saban. Unlimited amounts of money for Nick Saban. No money for anything else. Yeah. Hey, call Nick Saban and tell him drop some of that off that reparations money. Hey, I found our reparations money in the budget in Alabama. I found it, y'all. You don't. No. You don't have to give me a fee for it, but yeah, I found the money, the reparations money in the budget. I found it. Yeah, we can knock a few mills off of him and he'll be all right. Now listen to this. It's important to note that it's highly unlikely that Saban and Alabama see this deal through to its bitter end without some additional restructuring along the way, which means Saban will probably hit them up if he keeps winning or whatever, or if he starts winning or starts losing. He may hit them up for more money along the way, but still provides a good look at the bare minimum that Saban will receive, provided he coaches through 2029 when he will be 78. Some quick math shows that, excluding performance bonuses, his entire current contract is worth everlasting gobstoppers, $93 million. You take a look at this that they upset about Deion with. He ain't even gonna get all of that. The blender people gonna get a bunch of that. So Deion is out of line. Nick Saban, on the other hand, well, this is perfectly legit and yeah, nothing wrong here. You pocket watching. I just wanted to put it in its proper context and perspective for you. Now take a look at the next part here. Staying on top, Saban has a clause in his contract that is, shall we say, extremely Nick Saban. Basically, it's there to ensure he remains one of the highest paid, if not the highest paid coaches in all of college football for the full duration. The contract calls him and the university to meet each February and calculate the average salary of both the 3 highest paid SEC head coaches and the 5 highest paid coaches nationally. So in other words, not just for the SEC that he's a part of, but the 5 highest paid nationally. If Saban's total salary is lower than either of those 2 averages, his pay will be raised to match the higher one. Folks, he gets that no matter what he does. The way his contract is structured, he gets that no matter what he does. While you telling me that Deion is doing too much. Saban got this deal last year. Deion just showed up last month, but he's doing too much. He needs to calm down. Take off them shades. So Deion can't market his little old sunglasses, but Nick Saban can get locked in generational wealth. It goes on to say here that for the purposes of this clause, Saban's total salary is defined as his base salary and talent fee. In 2022, this would be $9,900,000. Nick Saban buyout details. Try to stifle your laughter. This is the writer of the article here. Even he knows this is freaking ridiculous. Nick Saban buyout details. Try to stifle your laughter. As is often the case, if Nick Saban is fired for cause, think felony conviction, egregious NCAA violations, literally not doing his job, then Alabama will not owe him a dime more than he has already been paid. So what they're saying is, he just gets to walk away. The buyout comes if he is fired without cause, meaning the university somehow thinks he's not winning enough games and that they can find someone who can do the job better. Should that happen, Alabama would owe Saban the total of his base salary plus his talent fee for the next 48 months of his contract. People, did y'all get that? If they fire him without cause, simply meaning you ain't winning enough, we've changed our mind, Alabama would owe him the total of his base salary plus his talent fee, as you know, which is the lion's share, for the next 4 years of his contract. Folks, he's only got 5 years left to go now. He's only got 5 years left to go now, and his contract says that if I get fired without clause, you basically got to pay me out. You got to pay me out as if I'm still there. So in other words, y'all, even if they do get another coach, you're going to be paying double dipping. They're going to be paying Nick Saban and whoever the new coach is. They're going to be paying Nick Saban's contract plus whoever the new coach is. He's only got 5 years left on his contract remaining right now, and talking seasons. And he's already locked in to get 4 of those 5 years now. But you got something to say to me about Deion Sanders sunglasses? Is you crazy? Are you out of your mind? He goes on to say here that if this happens, I recommend you stock up on canned goods and head down to your bunker as we're presumably entering the end times. Potential bonuses. Folks, you thought we were done? Did you think we were done? Folks, we ain't done yet. Potential bonuses. You know, Saban has set himself up to make plenty of extra money simply by winning football games, something he does better than anyone in the business. His athletic and academic bonus structure is relatively simple as outlined here. SEC championship game, he gets $75,000 for appearing in the game or $125,000 for winning it. Folks, this is bonuses. These are bonuses on top of what I just told you about. This is on top of that. On top of it. Bowl games. $65,000 for appearing in any bowl game or $90,000 for playing in the Gator Bowl, Capital One Bowl, Outback Bowl, or any other bowl game with an SEC tie-in, or $200,000 for playing in a New Year's Six Bowl, or $400,000 for reaching the college football playoff semifinals, not winning the semifinals, reaching it. $600,000 for reaching the national championship game, not winning the national championship game, just if you can get there. Or, yes, folks, there's a lot of or. White privilege is damn good, ain't it? $800,000 for winning the national championship. Do you see how many levels to fail this man has been given? But you begrudging me. Oh, I'm sorry, I got Deion up on the screen. You're begrudging me about Deion Sanders and some damn sunglasses. I want you all to take a look on your screens now that I finally put it up. This is the list of bonuses that Nick Saban is up for the SEC championship game and then the bowl games. They've given him level after level after level after level. He gets, folks, what I'm saying is that $400,000 for reaching the college football playoff. In other words, he gets this as a bonus if he loses. Do you understand that? He doesn't get $400,000 if he wins. If he goes to the game and loses, he gets $400,000. If he goes to the national championship and loses, if Nick Saban, this is in his contract as paid for by the state of Alabama, if Nick Saban gets to the national championship game and loses, he gets $600,000. If he gets there and wins, he gets $800,000. Folks, he gets $600,000 if he loses. How many people think $600,000 is a loss? I want y'all to know this protects, understand what these things say. When you see appearing, this simply means if I lose, I get this just for showing up. I'm not required to actually win the game. $90,000 for showing up, not required to win. $200,000 for playing, not required to win. $400,000 for reaching, not required to win. $600,000 for reaching, not required to win. $800,000 if you actually win the game that you got. We're going to get $600,000 for reaching. And then you wonder why Deion Sanders is trying to maximize his merchandising because he didn't get this deal and he's prime time. He's carrying the college sports on his back right now. And Nick Saban got this deal 2 years ago. Deion is hella late. He ain't even up nominated for this. This is what Saban got 2 years ago, and ain't nobody trash talking him. Now it says, pay attention to all those ORs. Nick Saban can only earn one of the bowl game bonuses per year. That's enough. That's enough. SEC Coach of the Year, $25,000. National Coach of the Year. For winning the award he's been given 5 times previously. National Coach of the Year, $50,000 for winning any National Coach of the Year award. Folks, they just throwing money. They're just coming up with excuses to cake him off more. Do you all get this? He doesn't even have to win anything. They're just coming up with excuses to cake more money off. They're looking for anything they can come up with to justify throwing more money at him. Graduation rates, $50,000 if Alabama's football graduation rate is in the top 50% of the SEC, or $100,000 if it is among the top 4 SEC teams. I'd like to know if he's ever gotten that bonus. Add it all together, and in the best case scenario, one in which Alabama wins the SEC and national championships, Saban is SEC and National Coach of the Year, and the team does its very best academically, Saban can take home an additional $1.1 million. Folks, we're not done yet. Jason, are you serious? I'm dead ass. Folks, we're not done yet. Look at this. Nick Saban's additional allowances and perks, Jason. So he's got this, plus another couple of million, plus additional incentives. Oh, hell yeah. 15 seated skybox seats and 7 standing skybox tickets for each football home game. 12 general admission tickets for each football home game. So he can just give tickets to he's got enough tickets to give to all his family and friends. That's basically what that is. Families, friends, side chicks, OnlyFans models. He's got free tickets. Complimentary tickets to other Alabama home games at the athletic director's discretion. How the athletic director gonna buck back on Nick? Country club membership paid for by the state. By the university. Folks, if you thought I was lying when I said that Nick Saban, that he is literally part of the state budget of the state of Alabama, I wasn't joking with you. They're literally telling you this paid for by the university. Oh, that's by the state. Oh, okay. 25 hours maximum of flight time per year on a commercial airline to be used for non-business purposes. non-business. 2 full-sized automobiles for business or personal use. In other words, I want a car for me and my wife or my mistress, whichever I choose. Just to show you there's nothing else left there. Folks, these are just the additionals on top of that $95 million that I just told you about. This is just piled on top of that. Here you go. You need an airplane, country club, need a new car, interest. Folks, do you understand that the interest rates for cars right now are at an all-time high? Payments are at an all-time high. Nick Saban ain't worried about none of that. The state of Alabama, your tax dollars are going to foot this. They're going to foot this. I want to hear somebody now wag their finger at me about Deion Sanders acting like he's bigger than the game. When you gave Nick Saban this contract over a decade ago and now you've renewed it and just blown it up to hell. But Deion needs to humble himself. Deion needs to humble himself. The 720 degrees of analysis that you'll receive absolutely nowhere else. No one has said that Nick Saban is getting too big, doing too much, getting too much. The reason Deion is marketing himself is because the NFL wasn't going to give it to him. Yeah, you're paying me for my play, but you're not paying me for my personality. The white guys are given their full benefits. And let me tell you something. We don't sell ourselves to get our value. They will literally bury us. People, does anybody remember the NFL Super Bowl with Lovie Smith and Tony Dungy? Stand up. Who remembers the Super Bowl with Tony Dungy and Lovie Smith? I'm a casual fan, but I remember that. How many of you remember that? How many of you remember that? Okay, tell me what the hell those two men who are so straight-laced and buttoned down and keep your head down and don't make no waves and don't make no controversy. By the way, tell me what they got for that. Where's Tony Dungy today? And where's Lovie Smith today? Adhering to the, quote, code and the principles. Tell me, by the way, one more thing. Where are they today? What happened to them? Dungy's commentating. The last time I saw him, he was commentating on one of the networks, and maybe NBC. He was commentating on one of the networks. Folks, that's what you get by letting these people cower you under and knuckle you under and telling you don't sell your personality. You just wait for us to throw you a paycheck. Marshawn Lynch didn't wait for nobody to throw him a paycheck. He said, I'm going to work my personality. Y'all could get a hair up your butts and fire me tomorrow. I better leverage something else. Y'all better remember that. Keep your head down and adhere to the rules and X's and O's and just be nondescript. Act like you've been in the end zone before. Meanwhile, they throwing money at the white dudes. No wonder they act like they've been in the end zone before. He's caked off to a crazy ass level. We still out here trying to get it. While they're telling you what you don't need to do. And ain't giving you nearly as much. You damn right we got to get out here and market ourselves. You damn right we got to stand out. And one more thing, we're not the only ones. Do you all know how many crazy dress college coaches have come along during the years, during the decades? And you want to talk about a press conference? My mama told me, take off your hat and take off your sunglasses. By the way, this is LSU. And isn't that white woman right there, Mulkey? Isn't she the coach? Everybody talks about the girl in the middle, Reese. But that white woman over there on the right, isn't that the coach of LSU? And she wears some stuff that made FloJo look tame now. This is LSU's coach. Let me throw it up there. I'm not switching things like I need to. I was wondering why the screen hadn't changed. Y'all, I'm getting so hyped about this. That's LSU's coach. There's LSU's coach. Excuse me, that looks like a damn hat. That looks like a damn hat to me. If anybody in here sees a hat, give me the hat emoji in the chat room. For those of you, it might be late for you, give it a moment. If you see a hat on that coach's head, and this is from the other day here, 5 months ago. 5 months ago. If you see a hat, give me the hat emoji in the chat room. If you see a hat on her head, give me a hat emoji in the chat room. Because that looks like a hat to me. That looks like she's ready for the Roundup Rodeo to me. That looks like a hat. And that looks like a press conference. That looks like a whole hat, and this looks like a whole press conference. While you got smoke for Deion. While you talking about Deion. Excuse me, what the hell happened over here? Not a word to say to her. She can just do as she please. Okay, this is legit. But Deion is completely out of line. But this is legit. No, that's not the reason you're upset. You're upset because you saw this man come in and in a matter of months, he has become bigger than the game. That's not supposed to be possible. The deck is supposed to be stacked against you. The game is supposed to be rigged against you. This is not supposed to be possible. You ain't supposed to be able to do this. That's not supposed to happen. You're supposed to be struggling. This isn't supposed to occur. You're not supposed to be able to just come from the outside and take over from the bottom up. That's not supposed to happen. Deion has eclipsed the other coaches. That's the problem, folks. This man has come in and eclipsed them, and he did it because he understood that you all are selling football. Deion is selling Deion. And you didn't understand that. The white coaches are sitting there trying to sell college football. Deion has never tried to sell football. Deion has always tried to sell Deion. And you know what you found out? Deion is worth more. Deion is more valuable than college football. That's why you got the Migos and The Rock and these celebrities showing up, and that's nothing that bothers them. You got black folk acknowledging this. We didn't wait for someone else. So you see, when you got other well-known people in black society, I'm going to throw Dwayne in there. You got other well-known people in black society showing up. That's us not waiting for the dominant society to rubber stamp this and confirm what Deion is doing. You got black folks showing up and lending their name to the cause, lending their notoriety to the cause, turning this into a major affair. Even if you wanted to ignore Deion, you can't ignore what the hell else going on. This is Michael Jackson all over again. Folks, Deion Sanders is not the Michael Kors of the NCAA. Deion Sanders is the Hermes of the NCAA and college sports, not just college football. He is the Hermes of college sports right now in the world today. He is not a mass market product. He's not a downscale product. He's not even an upscale product. He is the premier product. Bespoke, unmatched and unparalleled quality, attention to detail. And thus the notoriety comes with it. You are looking at a luxury product on your screen. That's what I'm trying to tell you. He's getting paid like he is, and shall I say the notoriety like he is. He can get it on his own. He doesn't need the school to get it for him. He can get it on his own. Folks, that's the hallmark of a luxury product. He doesn't have to sell nothing. This thing sells itself. Deion just presents you with the receipt. This thing sells itself. You take a look at it. You feel the exterior. You see the quality. You see the craftsmanship. You smell the aroma from it. And all you can say is this is a bespoke, this is an ultra luxury product. People, they're buying us. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Deion couldn't do this if he was trying to sell football. Folks, as people here from the soil, from the mud, from the slave fields, as the foundation of this nation, we have sold us. We didn't just bring you a message. The messenger is the value. Jack Johnson didn't just bring you the message, he brought you the messenger. Muhammad Ali did not just bring you the message, he brought you the messenger. And they paid more for the messenger than they did for the message. George Foreman didn't just bring you the message, he brought you the messenger. And that's where the value is. When everybody else breaks left, we break right. That's new. That wasn't done before us. The newcomers come to assimilate to the dominant society. We come as a culture of resistance. We always trying to do our own thing. So that's why these other folks want to have crossovers and collaborations. We're always breathing our own air. And when the air gets too polluted by the other folks, we move on over to the side. We're breathing the same air. Because we do not want to dilute the formula that built what this is. Our culture. When I said a culture of resistance, Deion Sanders is embodying that. You got to get that from us. The way in which he responded to this. I'm just saying, folks, no smoke, no shade. Can I just keep it real though, y'all? If Deion Sanders was repping Uganda, I'm saying it, y'all. If they brought him over from Uganda, he was sitting there at the press conference and the white man told him, my parents said, take off your hat and your shades. Do you think he would have responded the way he did? Can we just keep it a $103? Do you think that if Deion was over here with his green card, that he would respond like he did? Do you think he would? No shade on Uganda. No shade on Uganda. I'm not dissing Uganda. I'm not. Truly, I'm not. Don't hate me now. Truly, I'm not, but I'm just saying. But if Deion Sanders was Deion Buthelezi, and he just came over here from Uganda, and the white coach told him we take off our hat and our shades, I got a sneaking suspicion Deion would have showed up for the next press conference bald-headed. Not just with no hat and no shades, but no hair. He would have tried to show that he was the most humble, polite, well-suited, well-mannered individual. But my mother taught me to be polite and to represent them well. Man, come on now. If Deion Sanders was Deion Sudanese, oh man, how do you think that would have went down when the white coach said that? Come on now. Deion would have said, white men have it so rough. Am I lying? What? Deion would have been sitting there talking about how rough white men have it. He would have been talking about, well, I can understand, Come on now. Come on. The other thing you need to know about a Rolls Royce, you have something of enduring quality. Something of enduring quality that once it makes it into the fabric, that's it. It makes it in and redefines the fabric. I'm showing you all, I'm threading the needle to show you the direct parallels between our culture in the streets, our culture in American society, and Deion's behavior today. This is nothing but a continuation of who we are, and everybody emulates us. Those of us who have survived the slave fields, those of us who thrived, those of us who created the culture of resistance, those of us who formed the foundation, everybody else is emulating us. That's what you do when you have found the pinnacle. Folks, you do understand there's a reason why so many of your cars are expensive today. They think Rolls Royce is a trendsetter. It's too expensive for most people to get, but most of your car makers take a look at what Rolls Royce does, and they see how many of those things they can incorporate into their vehicles without destroying the price margins. We are the Rolls Royce of cultures. And what that means is, folks, you understand, Rolls Royce is what they refer to as an aspirational brand. Rolls Royce is not a car that you get fresh out of college. Rolls Royce is a car that you got to work for, slave for, accomplish things, make your mark in society. You got to earn a Rolls Royce. Hell, you got to earn a used one. So Rolls Royce is an aspirational brand. Anybody can get a Kia or a Hyundai. Most folks can get a Cadillac. Rolls Royce, oh, we're in rare air now. Now we're in rare air. This is something that all of the Kia and Cadillac buyers aspire to. Even the folks who can afford Mercedes, they aspire to a Rolls Royce, but few can pass that credit check. Few can pass that credit check. And that is what we are. We are the culture that everyone else aspires to, because we've got a unique innate quality. These other folks would have responded to these situations and these circumstances far differently than we did. Far differently than we did. They saw the way that we respond to these things, and that makes it a whole new ball game. Now going forward, now that these other folks saw us do it, that while they were sitting over there cowering in the corner and repeating the words of the dominant society, they saw us break in a different direction. We are different. Yeah, you might have laughed and giggled at first, but what you saw is, I'll be damned, they own something over there. We're different. And not only that, but we're not just different for the sake of being different. We're different because we found a better way. Our way isn't just different, our way is better. Bottom line, end of discussion, our way is better. You brought over your opera music. You brought over your opera music. That's what you brought from Europe. You brought your opera music. You brought your waltzes. You brought your bagpipes. No shade on any of those. But that was what you had. We created something new, and not only was it new, it's better. Let me say it like this. Foundational culture in America is to world cultures what anime is to animation. You might have started animation in America, but when the Japanese did it, they perfected it. And everybody else has been aspiring to do what the Japanese have done ever since. And nobody's coming close. 4.5 decades later, you ain't coming close. Well, that's what we have done for world culture. Every time you turn around, we are defining it and redefining it. We are making it better. We're improving it. And the crazy thing is that we're able to improve it not by looking at the future, but by looking at our own past. We keep coming up, we keep looking to our past after and during our slave exodus. We take a look at our own past and we find in gems hundreds of years later. Gems that we're incorporating hundreds of years later. You had your operas, you had your waltzes, they had been around for centuries. All we had to do was show up, and we call this is soul music. We're singing from our soul. We are not adhering to the, stop me if this sounds familiar, rigid structure of the music that you made. We were not adhering to that. When we sing, our music bleeds over. We'll take the lyrics and it bleeds over from one measure to another. We are singing what we feel, not what you wrote. The culture of resistance. We created resistance as an art form. When you take a look at the way we sing, we are resisting the rigid structure that was imposed on you by the dominant society. It said, you can only do this one way. You can only do this one way. And we have spent our entire existence showing, no, we don't. We will take that and we are resisting it. We do not have to do it like that. No, we don't. You're trying to create a cookie cutter product. This is art, not a cookie cutter product. They're telling you that you can only coach one way. If you don't coach the way we want to, then you're wrong. No, it's not. This is an art. We're showing you a dimension you never thought it could be. This is an art. You will not confine us to one dimension. And you see that philosophy and that culture of resistance permeate everything that we do. And now everyone else aspires to do what we did, what we've done, what we're doing. And I can't say that I blame them. I cannot say that I blame them, not for a moment. I can't say that I blame them, because you gotta understand, when you're dealing with the prototype, some folks, they're gonna draw from their culture. And I'm like, hey, go ahead and do that. But just remember that when you get out there in the real world, folks will make value judgments. Different isn't always better. But it isn't, even when it comes to art. As a matter of fact, I took a little time. As you all know, if you're on my Twitter, I shared for you some of the folks who try to say that we took from their culture, and I'm like, okay, which part? Because I did do a little bit of perusing of some of the alternative cultures, and by the way, some folks out there are making their own way here. Some folks out there are carving their own path. Here's a sample. Well, if you all wondered what the other cultures could do with auto-tune, if anybody was wondering what the other cultures were going to do with auto-tune, they took a look at us and said, no, you fall back, you Akata. Let me show you what to do with this auto-tune. Well, they got their hands on it. Yeah, they got their hands on it, and they're showing us a trick or two. I will admit, yeah, we never thought to do that. Yeah, I will admit, we never would have thought to do it. We never would have imagined to do it. And that's one musical inclination that didn't come across our desk. And all I got to say is they're accusing us of stealing their culture. I politely suggest to y'all, whoever stole their culture, will you please take it back before they, whoever took it, take them their stuff back, please. Take it back to them. Yeah, we're good. I don't know what you thought you was gonna do with it, but will you please take him his culture back? Let him have that. Let him have it. More power to him. I hope he sells 1 million copies and can get a new. By the way, I'm looking at the swag. I'm like, okay. Now, by the way, this is a little odd here. Let me go ahead and show you. By the way, we're talking about cultures. Take a look at the way she's dressed. Okay. Take a look at the way she's dressed. All right. By the way, is he transporting water in a wheelbarrow? All right, brother, you better call Akon and see if they can get the plumbing piped up over there, bro. Yeah, you might want to get that plumbing done. You doing it the hard way, brother. You doing it the hard way. You might want to get that plumbing infrastructure in place. All right, so you got her walking around. She's doing her Ugandan booty model thing. Okay, that's fine. This Negro is squealing like a squirrel getting strung up. She's doing her best, and she's rude as hell, by the way. Then you see these other females. Now, you take a look at them. Take a look at the way she's dressed, and take a look at the way that they are dressed. Do you see the difference there? Take a look at the way she's dressed. Take a look at the way that thing is hugging her rump. Now, take a look at the other females. Now, I ask you, which of these females is indicative of his culture in Africa, and which female is indicative of ours? Which one is where he came from, and which one does he aspire to? Because here's the crazy part. He didn't try to stop and holler at them gals wearing them burkas. Let's just keep it a $103. Oh, by the way, you all look very modest. That's great. That's wonderful. You're invisible to him. He ain't trying to talk to any of you. He's like, hey, I'm trying to figure out what Big Red can do for me. He's like, hey, look, yeah, I sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks, but I came to holler. Yeah. said, yeah, I might sound like Daffy Duck's little brother, but I came to holler. Hey, baby, I brought the water. We can get it out the mud. I brought the water. Okay, what he say? Look here, you look like something I saw in Alabama. He said, yeah, these chicks back here wearing their quilts. I'm like, that's all right for the village, but you look like something I saw in North Carolina. You look like something I saw in Atlanta. He's like, look here, baby, I'll bring you water, bricks, corn, meal, whatever you need. Like, look here, it's been a minute since I seen that. You look like something I passed up in Dallas when I was trying to get my immigration status corrected. He said, hey, what time is it? Hey, baby, you look like something from Dallas. What time is it? She said, it's time for you to get out my face, nigga. With your flower shirt. Here, take a vacation with this bottle. Okay, the other chicks are standing around. They're like, we good. Old boy's like, look here, will y'all get out the way so I can see her back there? Can y'all get out the way? Thank you. Can you move? By the way, brother, one reason she probably smacked you there, you remember? Y'all, hopefully we don't get panhandlers doing this, because this is like holding niggas hostage. Can you imagine you at a red light? Can y'all imagine being at a red light and a fella he come up to your car with a, anything you can spare? He's outside your damn window. Anything you can spare, brother. $1? A nickel. 25 cents. I can do this all day. I can do this all day outside your window. Could you imagine that? Folks, you be handing this nigga a credit card. Will this get you away from my car? Here, do you take American Express, nigga? Will this get him away from my car? Dude, do you have a CashApp? Whatever, I'm having a rough enough day. No, we are the Rolls Royce of cultures. We are the Rolls Royce of cultures. If you ain't seen us lay the foundation, you going back where you are trying to lay the foundation. Here's another thing right here. Take a look at the way he's sitting. They don't sit like this over there. You pick this up. Even the down and out brothers on the block over here got swag. Even our down and out swag is the Rolls Royce. Man, we the Rolls Royce of struggling. Do y'all understand that? Even our struggling is an ultra luxury product. That's just how bad we is. Even us struggling got swag to it. Come on now. What y'all talking about? We are the Rolls Royce of culture, so it's understandable that Deion had to break it down the way he did. And will continue to do so. He's just one in a long line. But if you don't come from our culture, this is new to you. And the only ones, there's a bunch of y'all imitating it and trying to emulate it and copycat it, and you look silly doing it because some of y'all got bad track records. Now you're trying to get your passes back. Fall back. Fall back. Yes, we are the Rolls Royces of struggling. Even our struggle is a luxury product compared to the rest of these folks. You don't believe me? Is this his version of the blues? Bring me some BB King. I meant what I said. We are the Rolls Royce even of struggling. If you don't believe me, take a look at his struggle and take a look at ours. Tell me which one you cash in with. Do you see what I mean? Okay. I'm just saying, do you see what I mean? I'm playing no games tonight. None. I want to thank everybody who has contributed to support tonight's program on Super Chat, Venmo, Cash App. Nancy King, big shout out. We appreciate that. Thank you very much here. Also, big shout out here to Veronica. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your support. Very glad we even got to get this far, by the way. Got some number ones in here tonight, Mr. 220. Lioness be blessed. Thank you very much for you all being first time on here. First time, join us every time. Folks, we have a conversation tonight. We are the Rolls Royce of cultures. And by the way, if you don't come from the soil, if you don't come from our culture here that we built this, don't be hating. Don't be hating. You know why? Because if you're not driving a Rolls Royce, do you hate on the folks who do? If your company doesn't build a Rolls Royce, do you hate on the ones who do? Or do you say, damn, pop your collar, salute? Pop your collar and salute. So you can start soaking up the game. And then don't sit up here and try to disrespect it. Nobody wants a knockoff Birkin. Nobody wants a knockoff Rolls Royce. What you need to do is get next to the people who make the Rolls Royce. Let them take you under their wing. Let them show you the will and the way. Let them teach you in the format. And you're probably never going to be able to build a Rolls Royce, but now you've learned at the feet. You sat under the learning tree of the people who built this incredible novel thing that you ain't got to hate on it. You can say, you know what? I learned something from them. And your legitimacy comes from showing respect to the foundation. That is where your legitimacy comes from. So then we can come clean up the act. Because trust us, we ain't going to have y'all sitting over there squealing like dead rats. We ain't going to have you doing that. Trust me. We going to shut that down with a quickness like, hey, Playboy, I know you trying to get on and everything, but yeah, brother, even Michelle A, when she starts singing, her voice dropped, brother. You sound like Michelle A talking. You need to sound like Michelle A singing, not Michelle A talking. I'm trying to help. Don't get angry. Dude, I'm trying to help you. Do you really want to pass this down to your kids? Brother, I'm not being denigrating. Do you really want to pass this down to your kids? I'm trying to help you. You're insulting our culture. I'm trying to help. Do y'all want to show up at the Caribbean parade playing that? The African parade playing that? You better let us step in. This is not called an insult. This is called an intervention. That's what this is. You off in your feelings. This is called an intervention. The world is not looking for Squeal and the gang. It really isn't. Some folks are going to get off in their feelings. They're going to hate this. They're going to hate this. They're going to hate this. They're not going to like this. I mean, it is what it is. It is what it is. Somebody said Michael Blackson's twin. Really? All right. Folks, I'm trying to help. Some of the folks out there are going to get upset. Some of them are going to get mad. People, I'm just saying tonight is the truth. We're the Rolls Royce of culture. We're the ultra luxury product. We are the aspirational brand. We are the aspirational brand of cultures. You see what we do in China, in Africa, in Timbuktu, and if there's any Martians up there, they bumping us too. If there is extraterrestrial life in space, they playing our music right now. Oh, I mean that. I mean that. Yeah, you tell Mork and Mindy and E.T., he's like, yeah, let me put this damn alien xylophone down. Them Negroes bumping down there in North America. How you do it? But it's the damn truth right here, because we built this from our experiences. The culture of resistance. You all thought that the culture of resistance was only good for fighting. No, the culture of resistance is to resist norms, to resist orthodoxy, to resist unnecessary controls. Resistance doesn't mean that you are undisciplined, but resistance means that you're making sure you maintain your freedom of thought. And within that structure, you'll be able to create and embrace new things. You'll be able to show the world something it didn't have before. We ain't just sitting up here babbling. We're not just sitting up here giving out babble and gobbledygook and rambling. When we pick things up, we ain't just saying a bunch of nonsense. This is new to people. This is new. These other folks want you to sit up here and just bow to control. We're the first ones who told you, by the way, that's not in our culture to do so. It is not a part of our culture to do so. When them folks show up trying to control, it is a part of our culture to resist. And not just resisting for the sake of resistance. It is resisting because we understand we have a better way. We have a better way. Jason, why do you say that? The NCAA in college sports should never be trying to tell these people how to minimize that. You should be testing the limits, testing the boundaries. Find out just how much there is, but you want to control people because you control. Right now, if you adhere to their formal or informal rules, you will only get the benefits that they decide you should get, and only at the levels that they decide you should have it. But if you resist them, then you're going to go exploring and find out just how much is really out there. How much do y'all want to bet that within 5 years, you're going to see white college coaches trying to sell sunglasses, baseball caps, shoes? How much y'all want to bet within 5 years you're going to see that? And oh yeah, ain't nobody going to be saying a cross word to them. Give me the hand up emoji in the chat room if you believe within 5 years we're going to start seeing the white college coaches doing exactly what they're criticizing Deion for within 5 years. You mark this program tonight. You put a pin in it. You preserve it. Within 5 years, how much you want to wager that we're going to see the white coaches doing exactly what they were criticizing Deion for? Oh yeah, and doing it big. Oh yeah, and one more thing. The schools will be helping them. Oh yeah, one more thing. And the schools will be helping them. The universities will be helping them just like they helped Nick Saban. They gonna be helping them. Whatever the black coach is getting, the schools are gonna collude together to see to it that the white coaches get 10 times more for exactly what you claimed you had a problem with Deion. Folks, that's how you build a culture. You don't build a culture by doing the same damn thing everybody else is doing. You build a culture by doing something no one else is doing. And then making it hot. But not just make it hot, it's hot because it's practical. That's how you build a culture. That's how you become iconoclastic. That's how you make something that endures the test of time. You found something practical that other people were just scared to do, either because they were told by somebody else don't do it, or because no one had done it before. We done had the guts. We've always been adventurers. We've always been trailblazers. And we have always stuck to the soil. We ain't been running around the damn world having to explain to people how we got there. We stayed here. We endured. Which is why I said that we have defined and then redefined this place. That's how you create an aspirational brand. So when you discuss the freedmen, the descendants of the slaves, the foundational people, you are discussing the people who are the aspirational brand of this society and of this planet. They aspire to be like us because they've seen what we've done. If they had a better idea, if they had a better model, hell, if they could even put a better spin on what we've done, they would have done it. All they can do is a weak imitation of it. You know why? Because it's too hard to imitate. That's like imitating the Michelangelo painting. Dude, you can't replicate that. You either got it in you or you don't. Our culture is not simply a practice. It is a societal art form. When they talk about black folk, and they're referring to those of us from the soil, when they say that everything we do with, quote, style. But you mean our own style. We didn't take what you gave us and then do it the way you doing it. Everything we grab, everything we touch is different. We have elevated culture to its very own art form across the board. Entertainment, food, sports, literature. We've turned it into its own art form across the board. Other folks are like, how the hell do you do that? You take a look at boxing. Other folk got in the ring. We were the first folk who danced. We were in the ring and they said, what the hell are you doing? You got time to dance during the fight? Hell yeah. We're just that good and we just make it look easy. That's why every great champion you can name was in there dancing. Jack Johnson, Ali. My favorite, Roy Jones Jr. I don't give a damn what you think. Floyd Mayweather, every time you look around, you showing some folks was in there dancing. Not dancing to sit up here and goof off, but dancing to show you this is a higher skill level. Hell, they were telegraphing punches. Sugar Ray Leonard, telegraphing punches. You ain't supposed to do that. I'm going to hit you with this left. Okay, here it comes. Still hit him. Folks, that is not a high quality product. That is an ultra luxury product. All you can do is watch it with amazement, but you can't replicate it. Can't replicate, can't duplicate. However, you might disagree. Therefore, the telephone lines are now open, and the number is 646-787-1933. That's 646-787-1933, your personal access code to the blackest radio program in existence, the only one of its kind on planet Earth today. And as always, you are welcome to join us. Big shout out here to everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. Shawnee Blake, thank you very much for your support. We appreciate that. Carlette Stration, thank you very much for your support as well. Thank you for supporting the program here tonight. Willis Addison and everyone else, Shy Citizen, and everyone else who's GMAC and you supporting the program. Thank you very much for your support here tonight. We're not going to stay on too terribly much longer here. I've been on here for a minute now, but I wanted to go ahead and check in here tonight so that we can go ahead and lay something down so that you all understand the 720 degrees of this analysis that you see in Deion, and it's not about just Deion being Deion. This is an ongoing aspect of our culture of resistance. And even folks who are not from our lineage, even those who are not from our non-immigrant lineage, understand the value of it. Once we blaze the trail, we got to blaze the trail first. Once we blaze it, then everybody's like, who's safe to go? Let me get caller from area code 630. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hi, Jason. This is Nick from Chicago by way of Houston.
Nick from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Yeah, you know what? Funny enough, my friend and I were speaking about this in terms of the sports channel that you know about, and thinking about doing this topic similar to this week, because there are athletes, and you know I do track and field, so we had Sha'Carri Richardson. Then we have Shelly Ann Fraser-Price that I speak about. And I discussed with them. I said, if Usain Bolt was he had a little bit of what we have here as Black Americans, which is why his brand was able to take off other than him just getting a world record. Because I was looking at some of the Jamaican women and said, if they got a world record, I don't think that would make them above the sport like what Usain did. Because when they tried to talk him down, he spoke back with some attitude. But when a lot of the athletes from Jamaica, Kenya, or something like that, they give them some pushback, they get all humble. They're trying to avoid controversy. Sha'Carri Richardson, she's like, yeah, oh, you think we're about to just be friends now because now I'm winning? Now y'all saying, oh, it's togetherness. Whereas before, when I was losing, we're all apart. So she has that Black American attitude with her, which is why she's transcending track and field. And all she needs is a couple other wins and a record, and then boom, it's all she wrote.
Well, you know, they tried to beat her down. And our culture, our historical culture, is we always see with these other folks, it would have destroyed them. It usually does. It didn't destroy her because we expect that. We expect to get attacked when we're losing, and we expect to get attacked more when we're winning. We expect that. So what she needed to do was get plugged back in so she could get on her square. But it is our culture to expect that. And then we have it's like an antibody. We have a specific response when that occurs. We have a specific response. We've got a cultural antibody response to that kind of thing. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Folks, I'm going to try to get through a few more calls here. We're going to talk to you all quickly, so please keep your comments brief, or I'll keep them brief for you. Caller from area code 504. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Charles Jr. from New Orleans, B1 family.
Charles Jr. from New Orleans. What's on your mind?
So something you said a couple of years ago that always stuck with me is that you said that Black folks should focus on three aspects: power, wealth, and influence. And I believe that because Coach Prime has focused on those three, like he already had those underneath his belt. Now he's one of the representatives of Black excellence, and now he's influencing the culture. You can speak on that, and I will go back on, mute.
Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Like I say, Black excellence, that's what we've built, is a culture of that. We haven't expected someone else to christen us. Deion isn't waiting for somebody to give him permission. Deion is christening himself. That's what it means to be excellent. Expecting that folks are going to throw roadblocks in your way. Expecting that. How you deal with adversity. That's something you get from the soil, how you deal with adversity, man. That's different. Excellence isn't just a slogan. It can't be. Sha'Carri Richardson, the world was sitting up here mocking her because she was trying to get attention, but she wasn't focused on winning. She had it in the opposite order. Become excellent first, then you can showboat. You can't showboat and think that showboat makes you excellent. No, you got to be excellent first and showboat. Once she got kicked around a little bit and got recalibrated and back on her square, now it's a different thing. Now it's a different thing. But understand something. Deion didn't come there to play. Deion came to win. Don't ever get it twisted. He's already been on international worldwide TV. Deion didn't come to play. Deion came to win. That's the difference. Yeah, he's flashy. Yeah, he's charismatic. It's not Deion's fault that the other coaches up there are stodgy sticks in the mud. Deion is charismatic. He's got a team that he is adhering to Sun Tzu's art of war. Folks, we are already getting reports out of Colorado that these young men are looking up to him like they're his sons, that he's teaching them like his sons. He did that at Jackson State. He is coming in as a father figure. Sun Tzu told you that if you treat your soldiers like your sons, they will follow you to the gates of hell. And Deion Sanders might, not sure, but maybe might have cracked the ultimate code. Do you all understand that? We might be looking at the dawn of a new era of human civilization. Deion Sanders might have cracked the code. The question I asked you all years ago that people have been asking for decades and decades now. I can teach you a technical skill. I can teach you how to draw. I can teach you how to do music. I can teach you all those things. But can I teach you how to want to do it? Well, folks, the coaches before Deion taught these young men how to play football. But perhaps Deion Sanders has cracked the ultimate code and is now teaching them how to want to play football. Maybe he's figured out how to get them to want to win. Folks, this would be a new era in human history. And no, I'm not overstating it. Caller from Miracle 417, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Al from Springfield, Missouri.
Al from Springfield, what's on your mind?
I lived in Springfield. I lived in Colorado back in the late 80s and early 90s during Bill McCartney's era. And before then, until they started recruiting all them black players from Eric Bieniemy, Salamessi, Cordell Stewart, Eric Bieniemy, once you started recruiting those players, they were consistently ranked in the top 5, even won the national championship in 1990 and everything else. And then once he left and once all the great black players, were going to Alabama and everything else, they were trash. Just want to point that out. B1, by the way.
B1, brother, thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 205. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, this is Kim from Hurricane, Alabama.
All right, Kim, what's on your mind?
Well, what I don't get with people who know anything about Deion has always been about his money. So anybody that's hating on him now or complaining, he's always going to be about the money. He took over a program that was failing. So anybody that follow college football knows once you build that program up, then more money finna come in. But see, Deion already bringing money into the school. They selling out in apparel. They selling out tickets. Then on top of that, he got a 5-year contract, $29 million. But within 3 years, they're gonna renegotiate that contract, which means him and his agent gonna sit back at the table. Really, the ball still is in Deion's hand. He's still controlling, really, because you bringing money into that program. So all the money that they bringing in now. So just imagine he keep on having a winning season. I'm not sure what they rank right now. So when the playoffs take off, which I don't know, they finna get ready to change that. I think it's starting next year where they finna take the numbers up. If Colorado is in that top ranking within the playoffs, that's more money for Deion. And I'm not finna be mad at the brother for making the money he need to make. But you brought up Nick Saban. If Deion can continue what he building at Colorado, he gonna be seeing just like how Nick Saban see it. The ball really, like I said, is in his hand. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. Please do give us a call again. And like I said, he's taken over 2 failing teams, to be totally honest with you. When a team is failing, nobody cares what you do. So that's actually where you want to go because you'll have the freedom to operate how you want to operate. And there's not going to be a whole lot of folks trying to push you around. The problems come in when you start winning. then everybody wants to start trying to micromanage you and looking over your shoulder and telling you how you should be doing it. So that's usually where the problems come in, but we got a ways to go before you get there. Call from area code 415. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is Denise in San Francisco.
All right, Denise from San Francisco. What's on your mind?
You know, every time I hear about the drama that's taking place in the hip-hop world, my mind goes back to the 40s, 60s, and 70s. Remember, jazz music and rock and roll music used to be considered nigger music. But jazz music got so popular in the 40s that the Nazis used to attack their people if they played nigger music, okay? Now, you know, white people basically latched on to rock and roll in the 60s. And when the 70s came around, we had all these big rock and roll white guys, okay? And somebody decided that they wanted to keep up on the music trends and run a study on where the next music trend was going to go. And to the horror of a lot of people, when the study was completed, it wasn't surrounding the white rock and roll artists. It was going towards black music. And every time hip hop comes up, that same study goes through my mind. We are the people who invent a lot of stuff, and the world is following us.
What you're seeing is a product of our experiences. This isn't something where if you can just repeat the words we said, or if you can use a similar inflection when you sing, this isn't something you can ape and imitate. This is coming, it's like all great art. All great art is coming from a place of pain. All great art comes from a place of hardship and struggle and overcoming something. So you can't replicate what we've done if you have not lived our experiences, and you can live it some other way. But the thing is that for those of us who come from the soil, we got grandfathers, great-grandfathers, great-great-grandfathers, great-great-great-great-grandmothers, that the stories have been passed down to us from them in the fields. The stories and experiences they came from, the migrations across the world, across the nation. And furthermore, you're dealing with DNA. Folks, DNA has memory. In case anybody is wondering about that, you got folks out there who wonder, do you have genetic memory? We know you have genetic memory, and anybody who tries to argue that's not so, I'm going to tell you right now, how can you have the reptilian part of the brain, which every biologist concedes, every evolutionary biologist, every scientist concedes that you have a reptilian part of the brain that has developed over the course of the last few million years. Well, if there's a reptilian part of the brain, is that not simply a part of the DNA chain? Experiences that we had that have been carried down through the DNA itself, and that every successive generation is learning from it, even if it cannot recall the exact incident that you went through. There's essences of that experience that's being passed down, and it is compounding from one generation to the next, to the next, to the next, to the next, until eventually it becomes an integral part of your being. If you ain't been through the soil with us, there's a reason that you don't understand where that comes from. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. By the way, that also goes for the cultural cowards, the individuals who have sided with the dominant society, the individuals who had to hang their heads in shame, the individuals who have not stood 10 toes down. Cowardice is something that gets passed down through the DNA also. Yeah, I said it. Courage is not necessarily a standard part of behavior, but one more thing, generational cowardice can get passed down through the DNA also. Just thought you should know that. For those who wonder why we always make a stand where we are, because our DNA understands if we run, that will become part of our DNA like it has so many of the others. Caller from area code 323, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
My name is Jonathan, calling from Los Angeles.
Jonathan from LA, what's on your mind?
Here's another reason why they hate Deion Sanders. Let's talk about the money. ESPN, owned by Disney, signed a $3 billion with a B, contract with the SEC conference. Alabama, Nick Saban are in that conference. They are scared, terrified, out of their pants because they know that Deion Sanders can successfully recruit just only 30 of the best high school football players in the nation to come play for Colorado. Not only will Nick Saban lose millions and millions of dollars, the SEC conference will lose billions of dollars, and ESPN, owned by Mickey Mouse / Walt Disney, will lose billions and billions of dollars. And right now, the Disney stock has shrunk to lows as low as $85 per share. That's the real reason why they are terrified.
They got down to
Sanders.
70s. Disney stock is down to 70s now. It's been hitting the 70s. So 85 is the good old days. Yeah, this is rough over there. But you're absolutely right. A lot of these big deals that have come through, everybody and their mama discusses that in our absence. The bottom line is that if you understand that the system is rigged, you don't play by the rules of a rigged system. You don't do that. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. In the chat room, also to the cool man, since you claim you're having trouble with your phone, my mods are not the ones who told, it's not my mods who are saying you need to call in. I'm the one who told my mods you need to call in. So if you claim that your phone is not able to call our number, you need to email me your phone number and I'll call you. So you got 10 minutes to do that. So just in case your phone is tripping, all right, I'll take care of that for you. Caller from area code 703, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
CB calling out of Florence, South Carolina.
Okay, CB out of Florence. What's on your mind?
Two things real quick, Jason. White people, in regards to what you mentioned about him taking his hat off and his glasses, white people play like they're so humble, but they make some of the most flyest products on earth. So I just throw that out there for your audience. And the last thing I want to say is we talk about black people generating money through culture, through our efforts, through our hard work. We've been the door since the plantations to economic prosperity for white Americans and their families. And that's all I wanted to say, Jason. Thanks for taking my call.
Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight here. We appreciate it. Please do give us a call again. And definitely you're right about that. We've been the foundation for everything else here, but I want you all to think about it just a little bit differently, that we are a luxury product. That's a whole different way of thinking about it, but we are the Rolls Royce. We are the Rolls Royce of cultures here. And if you've been told otherwise or influenced to think otherwise, that's going to be problematic. It's going to be problematic here because that's the whole idea. The whole idea is to convince you that we are not. So then you start selling it short. Everything's a damn slave deal. Everything's a damn slave deal. Their job is to convince you that you're not doing what it is you've been doing. So then it all becomes a slave deal. I want folks to understand exactly what our value is. When folks sit up here and try to fool you and deceive you, get you to lowball yourself. They've defeated you before they even got in the ring with you when you're lowballing yourself. You can only do this one way. And that's a lie. Let me get caller from area code 323. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, good evening, big brother Jason. This is brother Elijah calling out of Brooklyn, New York.
All right, brother Elijah, what's on your mind?
Brother, one quick statement and a question. All right, got to give you your flowers while you're here. We would be nothing in the B1 family without you. All right, you are a true hero, brother. All right, I just hope you know that. And I'm safely speaking for us in the B1 family. Brother, my question is, with our big brother Deion Sanders, if he keeps doing wonderful work that he's doing right now, do you think it would be a matter of time before the NFL would have no choice but to reach out to him?
Well, here's the real thing. He may not want that. Deion was already in the NFL already. He knows the politics of that. He's got plenty of money in that regard. Deion is trying to prove something right now. Deion doesn't need the money. He's not broke. Deion is in it for the love of the game, but also he's made it also very clear he wanted to be there with his son. He's already said in the interviews, this is his son. And he's really thought about how much time he's missed with them before and experiences, things like that. So he's doing this because he can. You got a black man who's found a way to put himself in a position to be able to have these experiences with his son. That's novel, man. That's new. That's novel to be able to do that. The other thing is, would you rather be an average fish in a big pond, or would you rather be a big fish in an average pond? Now, there's the other thing to take a look at. Brother, the pressure isn't on higher than the Super Bowl. It's not on higher than the NFL playoffs. Y'all, I'm going to ask a stupid question. Did Deion ever get a ring? I don't know if Deion ever got any rings. Like I said,
he got 2.
I'm casual as hell. Did he play? Was that for the 49ers? Was he on the 49ers at the time?
49ers. He won the 49ers in 94 and the Dallas Cowboys in 95.
Okay. I'm about to say, I thought about it something. I had to think about it for a moment. You said, yeah, he did get rings. Okay, now I remember. I remember he was with the 49ers. I forgot about Dallas. I now remember he was in Dallas. But so Deion's got rings. He's been to the Super Bowl, so he's been to the big dance. What you going to show him? At this point, what are you going to show him? So I'm a firm believer that, at this point right now, he's doing it because he can. But he's a competitor, man. He's a competitor. It's in him. It's in his spirit to do that. And that's what makes a man a producer, is if he's still out there on the field, he's still winning. They doing surgery on Deion's feet and trying to cut off toes and stuff like that. And he's like, hey, look here, chop these toes off so I can get back out here and coach this team. The other thing is, truthfully speaking, he's not trying to outshine his son. That's another thing. He's not really competing against his son for attention. He wants to be able to have as much control as he can as a coach. As far as I'm concerned, he's doing everything the way he should be. He's doing everything the way he should be. Yeah, he's bringing attention. He brings a lot of eyeballs. That's his image. That's his product. Okay, that's fine. I got that. But by the same token, he's not distracted. It's not like he's sitting up here with a bunch of girls dancing around and a bunch of cocaine floating around. He came to win. He came to play. He came to win. And at this point, I really think it's just about the love of the game. Think about it this way.
Yes, sir.
Jordan, he played for the Bulls, then played for the Wizards. That wasn't so great. Then he tried his hand at coaching. We saw how that went. So, I think if you're Deion and you're able to coach and you can make a run at it and you can make it work, I mean, hey, your playing days are over, especially at number one, his age. But even if it wasn't his age, now they're chopping toes off. So that's going to just throw off your way to run and everything. So even if he was 25 years old, that's going to be a hell of a headwind in front of you. So he's accepting what it is. I mean, and we've all watched athletes who tried to get out there and play way past the time that they should have stopped. Deion has accepted that. He's moved into coaching, but we've also watched athletes who tried to coach who were not good. It wasn't there. Deion is apparently not in that situation. So right now, I think he's having the time of his life. He gets to do all the swagalicious stuff he's been doing, but doesn't have to worry about taking no hits. He knows how to deal with the limelight. He knows how to deal with the pressure. He knows how to deal with these young men in the way he wished he'd have been dealt with. He knows how to inspire young men to want to give their all for their coach, which is what every coach wants. But many of them have adversarial relationships with their athletes. So they want to be generals ordering them as opposed to fathers leading them. And I'm just telling you right now, he's like a father figure to them. Man, look here.
Yes,
God help you if you're playing against a team who see themselves as the coach's sons and that they are there not to represent the school, but to represent the coach's bloodline. You played for if you play football or play sports, it's one thing to play for a coach. It is another thing to be playing for your father. It's another thing to be playing for your mother, that you're representing them. You're representing the bloodline. That's a hell of a team to be playing against. They've got a motivation that you just don't have. Thank you very much for giving us a call tonight. When you see somebody as your father out there leading that team, you're like, I got to leave it all out here. I'm not here to impress the school or the NCAA. I am here to prove myself to that man right there. He's the one I'm trying to prove myself to. And ain't but one way to do it. Now you've got a team of them with that mindset. Man, y'all better get the hell out their way. Caller from area code 708. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, Jason, brother Jason. This is L Boogie calling from Chicago, brother.
L Boogie from Chicago. What's on your mind?
Just an observation, brother, and I find so very refreshing to see. It's nice to see that Prime Coach Deion has got two sons who are playing for him who look like him. And what I mean by that is that I think it's a testament to sort of how he has lived his life and the fact that he has got two darker-skinned black young men who look like him and who don't, reflect some kind of history of his dating racially ambiguous or non-black women. And I absolutely love it. And I don't think that's something that's lost on these sports writers and the general media, though, as well. Because every time they shine them cameras on them two boys, they are shining the cameras on two black, heterosexual, strong men, warriors. And I'll leave you with that. Thank you for taking my call, brother.
Thank you for giving us a call tonight. Let me get caller from area code 720. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Good evening, Dr. Black. This is Chemistry, calling you out of Parker, Colorado.
Chemistry out of Parker, Colorado. What's on your mind?
Yes, sir. I just wanted to, share that this is inspirational. As a previous caller just said, the fact that he has both of his sons on the team, and what's interesting, he has both sons playing, one son playing offense, one son playing defense. He's the coach. He's completely controlling the game. I love this expression of black excellence. I love this expression of black fatherhood, right? Because at the end of the day, like you said, he is looking at all of his players as his sons. He actually cares. The fact that he has two of his biological sons playing on the same team, this is, I love this expression of black excellence. It's inspirational. I'm loving this. So, thank you.
That's the real thing about it. The optics of this are a powerful thing. Far beyond game playing or anything else, the optics of this, you're dealing with dimensions of this. Thank you very much for giving us a call. Now, you're dealing with dimensions of this, with everybody telling you got to be a Barack Obama to make these things happen. Everybody acting like you got to be some Barack Obama to make things happen. This is the kind of thing they don't want to see. They don't want to see a Venus and Serena Williams raised by an Earl Williams. They don't want to see Deion Sanders raised by a Deion. They want to tell you, sit down, hold your head low, be humble, don't make no waves, don't make anybody upset with you, don't make anybody bother with you, just do as you're told. They don't want to see this. They don't want to see it happen like this. Caller from area code 562. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
How you doing? This is Elton from Long Beach.
Elton from Long Beach. What's on your mind?
How you doing? I see our culture as like the Etruscans to the Roman Empire. As John Henry Clark said, we called them a bunch of well-dressed thugs. The dressing part came from the Etruscan part. The culture came from the Greeks. And that's what we are right now. So at that, I'll land my plane.
All right. Well, it sounds like his plane is literally landing there. So we're going to go ahead and let him do that. But definitely this is the thing for you all to learn about this here. We are the Rolls Royce of cultures. This is going to be emulated long after that. Let's see if we can go ahead and get the cool man on the line here. You're on live with the Black Channel. And what was on your mind?
Black Authority. Yes, I really like your perspective on this. I just want to offer another one. I haven't really been all that excited about Deion because I'm looking at what Deion is doing, and it just seems like he's replicating the same old formula that we've been replicating for the last 100 years, where we go to a white institution, we build up the white institution. This doesn't do anything for the black community. So yeah, it benefits Deion, but not really the black community.
Okay. Do you think it's not benefiting the black players on his team? Do you think it's not benefiting them?
Okay, you could say yes, it's benefiting the black players, but if you look at sports
but slow down. Do you think that it is benefiting the black assistant coaches and whatnot that he has on his team? Do you think it's benefiting them?
Sure.
That the folk that he chose, because he didn't just go there by himself. He said, "I'm bringing some folk with me." Okay, so it's benefiting the players, it's benefiting the coaches there. Got that. Do you think that it's also benefiting the other black folks, celebrities? And I'm just saying celebrities is what you recognize here. Do you think it's benefiting those people who are able to add to the synergy of this? Do you think this is benefiting them?
I mean, I think you're really reaching, but okay. I mean, okay. But still, that's not the community in general.
Okay, well, first of all, nothing does anything for quote unquote the community in general. I mean, that's just physically impossible. You can't do nothing outside of a government action could do something for quote unquote the community in general. So we can use that as a symbolic term, but as a literal thing, how does one person do something for quote unquote the community in general? How do you do that?
I'll tell you how. Deion was on his way to doing that when he was at Jackson State. You build up Jackson State's program. If he does what he's doing at Colorado there, and then he builds up the entire black college sports scene. So that's going to benefit the black colleges. That's going to give them more revenue, and that will benefit the black community.
Okay, well, here's the problem that the mistake or the fallacy you're making. How is it that him winning, because it's just college football, how is it him winning at Colorado University is not helpful, but winning at Jackson State is?
What I'm looking at relatively what's going to benefit the community as a whole.
Okay,
like
so
all
I'm asking though, but all I'm asking is, how is it he was winning at both schools? You're saying that winning at Jackson State was somehow helping the community. The very same man with many of the same people, mostly black players, bigger institution, winning there, however, isn't doing anything for the community.
Right. If he did the same thing at Jackson State, that's going to benefit that school, which is going to benefit black people. Here, what you're benefiting is a white institution. And you're building up a white institution, and that's all he's doing.
Okay, sir. That's a relative thing to say also. Deion already gave his contribution to the school. It wasn't like he was there for a few months and left. So tell me, after everything Deion did in Jackson State with water that ain't working, facilities that they ran down for decades through their abuse, neglect, and mismanagement of the school, tell me, after Deion presented them with all the winning that they did, what good did that do them?
Well, if I recall, I think when Deion went to that school, then you had other players, like I think Ed Reed, he went to maybe Bethune-Cookman. And so what was happening?
By the way, how'd that work out?
Okay, I don't know exactly why he left, but what I'm saying
why
is
he
what
left,
we need is a
left.
trend in that direction.
Okay, Ed Reed left. Whoa. Ed Reed left? Ed Reed left?
I haven't really, I'm like you, I'm very casual. I think that's what I heard, though. I think he left.
Okay, go on.
All right, the problem, see, the thing is that's where our thrust needs to be. It needs to be building up those black institutions. Deion was on that road, and what I'm saying, what he's doing now is mainly going to be benefiting Deion, a few players, a few coaches, and mostly that university. You're not going to see I don't think he's on a road to changing the demographics of that university, giving more opportunities to just the overall black people to be at their university. It's not doing, in the end, it's just a Deion project. And that's the problem that I see. And that's I don't really see all that much to get excited about here.
Yeah. Ed Reed, as far as I remember, I think I'm pretty sure I remember Bowling Ball Martin did the interview with him, as a matter of fact. Y'all might want to check on that a little bit closer there, if this is the same Ed Reed that I'm remembering here. But regardless of that, here's the problem. The problem is it's not Deion Sanders' job. Nick Saban is not at Alabama State University trying to clean up the university. That's the chancellor's job. That's the dean's job. It's not the head coach of the football team's job to run the university properly. That's their job. And the problem is you are not putting the onus where it belongs. It's not up to the coach Deion Sanders to clean up Jackson State's administration. That's not what he's there for.
I didn't say he was there for that.
Okay, but you can't. No. You can't put him in a no-win situation and say he's sitting there telling you this whole school is misrun. The entire school is being misadministered. And I need to stay here in positions where I don't have any power to do anything about that. And even if I did, that's not my job. I didn't want to become a school chancellor. I just want to coach football. And you can't do that at Jackson State because it is hideously mismanaged. Deion could not focus on what he came there to do. That's what he said when he told you my car got broken into. Excuse me, have you ever heard Nick Saban complain about his car getting broken into? All of them that the state of Alabama has bought him. Have you ever heard that?
I haven't heard that. Well, maybe Deion could have gone to another black college and continue.
Okay, whoa, slow down. What is Jackson State's responsibility to make sure that their employee, the football coach, can concentrate on playing football? What is their responsibility to him to do that?
No, I can't comment on the intricacies there. I mean,
okay, brother, let me try this again. Deion Sanders was an employee of Jackson State. What is Jackson State's obligation to the person they hired to lead the football team to make sure he can actually focus on coaching the football team?
Okay, so they probably should make sure that he's secure. You know, his personal possessions and things are secure. But that's not the point I'm making is that what Deion's doing, he's taking that route that a lot of our black talent takes, which is it connects with the white community, and then it helps to build the white community. What Nick Saban is doing is fine. He's building up himself, of course, but he's building up a white-run university.
Okay, first of all, these are state universities. That's the first thing. So we really need to get ourselves straight here. These are not private schools, to my knowledge. Alabama's not a private school, sir.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Yeah, that's a hideous manipulation to say if you're working for a state school, which is funded by our tax dollars, if you're working for a state school, that's somehow a white school. But if you're working for a so-called historically black college, which in many cases that's a relative term, then you're really serving black society when you literally can't name for me 5 HBCUs that are doing any benefit to black society at large.
What I'm saying, Black Authority, is that he can help to bring that type of thrust to the university.
No, he can't.
Bring our talent to our university.
Sir, No, all he can do is stay there and help to artificially bolster some of the numbers, but not all the numbers, for their football program. What he's telling you is the school itself is dysfunctional, which we all know. That's way bigger than the football program, wouldn't you say?
I would say yes.
Then what in the world do you expect the football coach, a second, third, fourth time? What is the football coach supposed to do about a dysfunctional administration? He works for them.
it's possible that maybe he could, he
Possible.
has connections that could help to get them, in a better condition. But the
Possible.
whole point I'm
Okay,
trying to
well,
make
no, because what you're saying now is he's got to stop focusing on football. You're saying that they hired him to run the school, that Deion needs to get hired as a football coach so he can step in and try to figure out how to run their school. That's what you just said.
No.
Yes.
What I'm saying is that I'm saying that people that come out of our community have to try to make sure that they're making contributions that can help our community.
Yeah, but the school has an obligation too. You can't have just Deion. It can't just be Deion. What is the school's obligation to be functional, to be able to collaborate with Deion? Deion's ready. Deion is ready. Jackson State is not ready.
And that's why I said he should have tried another black university.
Sir,
not just go to a white university.
name for me a black HBCU that has clearly demonstrated that it's ready.
I'm like I said, I'm just a casual person. So I'm just looking
Okay,
at this
thank
on the
you.
outside.
Well, then don't you think that Deion considered that before he ever took the job at Jackson State?
I'm not sure about a lot of these.
But we know that he had his pick of the litter. Deion had his pick of the litter. He chose Jackson State. So what I'm telling you is he already chose the most viable one. He already did. And what he's telling you is, yeah, they're not ready. And I'm not a college administrator or a dean. What needs to happen is the trustees and the faculty and the students who've left the school, they're the ones who need to be putting the pressure on the school to say, hey, we need to clean house. And that isn't happening. Not at Jackson State, not at Bethune, not at Howard, not at Spelman. That's not happening anywhere. Nick Saban did not have to come in and fight with the damn board of trustees and the chairman and the CEO or the dean and the rest. He didn't have to fight with none of them. He was brought in to do one job. You take care of the football team, we take care of everything else. Deion gets there and he's got to run a whole school. And got folk like you saying that that's reasonable for him to do. Then go jump to another HBCU that is being misrun, and he got to run that too. Maybe there's something that you all need to accept. Maybe the HBCUs need to be allowed to collapse. Maybe they're time. First of all, we didn't start them. That's the first thing. We didn't even start most of these so-called HBCUs. But the second thing is, by the way, if this is an organism that is so corrupted and refuses to change, maybe all these people with good intentions, like yourself, are being taken advantage of. And maybe what the HBCUs need is to be allowed to collapse. And maybe if enough of them go under, then the remaining ones will be sufficiently motivated to say, yeah, we don't want to go the way of the rest of them. Clear out the whole damn front office. Clear out the administrators. Get some folk in here to do something. Because this Band-Aid talk and this black unity talk you giving, that's what got us in the mess we're in. It doesn't work. What you're giving is work great for religion and churches. It's not working for an educational institution where folk can give money, which is in effect rewarding administrators for failing. Nobody is being rewarded for doing the right thing. Deion didn't get it. All you're doing is artificially propping them up. The HBCUs, first of all, can somebody brother, can you tell me who was the football team at MIT?
I have no idea.
How about Harvard?
No idea.
Okay. By the way, the richest people in America have graduated from those Ivy League schools. Their football teams are not just a footnote, they are irrelevant. How many of our HBCUs have carved themselves out that, hey, we don't rely on sports for anything? Our academic infrastructure is world class. Name one.
I cannot.
Now, that doesn't require a football coach. That requires competent administrators. Our HBCUs do not have that. I submit to you, sir, that Deion Sanders' efforts at the HBCU would be throwing good money after bad, or should I say in this case, good money after none. He's doing a whole lot more for black people and black society at Colorado University than he could ever do spinning his damn wheels at Jackson State. Brother, you can't help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. You can't help someone who don't want it. It's time for the HBCUs to demonstrate and justify to all of us. They need to prove something to all of us. They need to prove that they actually want to exist. Not us bending over backwards, rewarding these people like a bunch of fat, overfed, corrupted African dictators. And I meant what I just said, by the way. I didn't stutter or misspeak. You got a bunch of you have a bunch of HBCUs that are run like banana republics. Run like Papa Doc Duvalier and dependent on people to just keep feeding them no matter what. No, maybe if Jackson State's allowed to shut down, and maybe if Bethune's allowed to shut down, and maybe if Howard's allowed to shut down, and they realize, whoa, this really can't happen to us, maybe then that'll be the kick in the ass that all these folks need to start taking this seriously. Because even in academic studies, they're not even serious. Brother, let me tell you one more thing right here. Dr. John Henry Clark, you all remember the speech that Dr. John Henry Clark gave over 3 decades ago, when he said there isn't one HBCU in America that teaches an African language. That was 3 decades ago he said that. That ain't got a damn thing to do with a football program. That has to do with the principles of the school.
I don't think that that's accurate, because I do know for a fact that at Howard University, you can, Swahili is being taught. It's an offered course.
Well, you know what? That's great. That's wonderful. They most likely were simply responding to him. Now, it took that long for an HBCU to get an African-centered studies program for language. That doesn't have to happen when you're dealing with your Hispanics. It doesn't have to happen with them. By the way, how's the computer science program doing over there? Now that we got an African language, how about computer language?
I really can't say. I don't keep up with all of it like that.
And there's the problem. These schools are misrun and misadministered, and a football coach can't fix that. He's not qualified to fix that. And this isn't just one school. This is systemic.
I understand that. My general point is that I think everybody is getting all excited about Deion. I just think it's a case of misplaced priorities. At the end of the day, this is going to benefit Deion, maybe a few players, but the black community as a whole.
Okay, but the HBCUs aren't benefiting anybody. Deion, at least with Deion, it would benefit the folk that you just named with Deion. The HBCUs you talking about aren't benefiting anybody. Who's benefiting from the HBCUs? Not even the employees. A few overfed, corrupted, stealing, grafting administrators. Who's benefiting from the HBCUs, sir?
I don't really understand your point. I mean,
okay, sir, let me try again, because I've been asking you over and over again. You saying that Deion Sanders is taking the benefits somewhere else. Okay, shouldn't those schools be benefiting somebody without Deion?
Yeah, no. What I said was that what Deion is doing is just basically going to benefit Deion.
Right, but the HBCUs are benefiting whom?
A lot of people are getting their education from the HBCUs. A lot of black people are getting degrees and are able to, go out into different fields.
Sir, have you talked to a graduate from the HBCU in the last 15 years? I have.
Well, yeah, I have. I happen to be one.
Okay. What do you do for a living, sir?
I'm in the health field.
Health field. I don't know what the hell that means. What did you go to college for?
Pharmacy.
You went to college for pharmacy. Which HBCU teaches pharmacy?
Howard University.
Okay. He went there for pharmacy, and now he's saying that he works as a pharmacist. That's great. That's wonderful. I think that's all thumbs up. By the way, how many others?
There's plenty of others brothers. I mean, they graduate every year.
Brother,
Plenty of people.
what you're saying that there are
plenty.
there are plenty of pharmacists out there. There are plenty of black pharmacists who graduated from Howard, is what you're trying to say.
Absolutely.
And that's simply not.
Absolutely.
And that's simply not true.
That is very true. That's been going on for the last 100 years.
Sir, when you look around America, do you see 100 years of black pharmacists today?
As a matter of fact, the first graduate from Howard University was a pharmacist.
Handpicked. Sir, one more time. When you look around America today, do you see 100 years worth of black pharmacists?
I see at least 50 to 60 years. There's a National Pharmaceutical Association that came about in the 1960s.
Okay, we are 11% of America's population. We're how much a percentage of the pharmacists?
I don't know the exact percentage.
Okay. We all graduated from Howard as pharmacists here. By the way, the student endowments, how many of you are contributing to it?
I can't really say. I don't get those numbers published. I know that in general it's low. I mean, it doesn't get a lot. Howard gets most of its support from the federal government.
So thank you, sir. All you pharmacists, and y'all are not supporting your alma mater because that's how much you value it, and that's my whole point. So anybody who thought that he was going to take me around yin yang in China, I get lost. No, I'm not lost at all. I just wanted to make sure he codified all that. Oh, there's plenty of us out here. That's great. Then why is it your endowment sucks so badly? Because you all are not contributing to it. So even if I take you at your word that you went to Howard and you're a pharmacist and all that great stuff there, you all are doing nothing for your alma mater. And I submit to you that that is a testament to how much you value it. You're just like all the other graduates. You don't really value it. And there's a reason for it, because you went there. And you're like, give me my degree and kiss my ass.
It's not true. A lot of us do give back. As far as how much the pharmacy contribution is to the overall, I just don't have those numbers.
Okay. I have your number. The number is 0.
This call was not about me.
Actually, it is. If you're going to tell us that Deion Sanders needs to have undying allegiance to a school that is misrun and misguided, then you need to show us where you've lived that, and you didn't do it. You wouldn't go back to teach at Howard for anything in this world.
That's not true.
Okay, you can go tomorrow and start teaching there. But you're not. You're going to stay working over there at Rite Aid or wherever the hell you at. You're going to stay over there. You're not going to go back to the HBCU and give your time and fight with their screwed up administration. You already got the only thing of value. You can get a sheet of paper that says you're qualified to go get trained at the corporation. You're not going to go do it. Now, you're going to try to hold Deion to that. But by the way, the company you work for now, which company is that?
Well, it's a hospital, actually.
Oh, it's a hospital. Is it a black hospital or is it a state hospital or a white privately run hospital?
It's a white nonprofit hospital.
Oh, because nonprofit means they are a profit hospital. So let me get this straight. You got trained at an HBCU and you have taken your talents out of the black community to a white institution.
Well, yes, but I did try to work at Howard. I did apply, but they didn't have any positions at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, Howard University has a hospital. They have a pharmacy department. I did apply.
Mm-hmm. So that's not the only one, right? You want Deion to go around the country, but by the way, that's not the only one, right?
I understand what you're saying. All I'm saying is that, look, I'm not, okay, if we actually want to apply this analogy, then I'm going to let you go. I'm not going around saying what I'm doing is, I'm just like super benefiting the black community. I'm not asking for a lot of people to support me, whatever, but
what Deion need to do, what Deion need to do.
As if he's doing something that is so great. All he's doing is, basically.
You see, what Deion need to do is that's what Deion needs. Yeah, we're always looking at these other folk out there and saying what they need to do. That they need to take the hit. They need to take the loss. What Deion need to do is, okay, what about you over there? What do you need to do? I need to be right where I'm at right here with these white folk. Okay, so you need to eat better, but Deion needs to struggle because Deion. All right.
Deion doesn't need to struggle. Deion is not struggling. He wasn't struggling at Jackson State. He's not been struggling since his NFL.
Clearly, by his own admission, he was struggling to be able to lead that football team because of the administrators. Now, he was struggling there.
Probably.
All right.
But I'm just,
brother, dude. Hang on. Take the even off. Thank you very much for giving us a call here. Now, y'all, he tried. He had to give it a shot. He had to give it a shot, y'all. He had to try. See, what the issue is, what Deion need to do is, Deion need to get it together, Jason. What Deion need to do. Oh, yeah, you went to an HBCU. I sure did. Plenty of us got a better deal. Where you work at? White Hospital? Man, what you talking about? Them black hospitals? Nah, I couldn't deal with that. All right. I just wanted to make sure Deion ain't helping the black community. I'm helping the black community by getting to this white hospital over here. That's what I'm going to help. All right. Folks, I know some of you people out there, look, you got to take your Ritalin, okay? Some of you have to take your Ritalin. This is a teaching moment. For anybody who may fall in this situation again in the future, I actually gave you 3 or 4 different ways to break that down. But by the way, this is a teaching moment. It's a teaching moment. What do you say? The community for thee, not for me. Black unity for thee, not for me. You get over there with Jackson State and struggle. Let me get over here to this nonprofit and grab the bag. Call America code 903. You're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
Yes, my name is Herman. I'm calling from Texarkana, Texas.
Okay, Herman from Texarkana. What's on your mind?
Yes, I think the last caller was being very disingenuous. Jackson State did not want to step their game up and get with the program that Deion wanted to. Deion has been Deion. I grew up with Deion as far as seeing him in sports or whatever. He's always been Deion, so it's nothing new that Deion's doing. Deion, if he's saying that Deion didn't care about his players or anything like that, he wouldn't even let them play some of these universities like UCLA and these Power 5 universities to let his football players get beat up just so they can make their budget for the year. I think this last weekend they had a couple of HBCUs playing some of these white universities getting beat 80-0. Deion would sacrifice his players like that. So I've been to a HBCU graduation, and believe me, there's not a lot of us that are graduating, and there are not a lot of us contributing back. He's not calling Kamala. Didn't she graduate from Howard and saying how much she's giving back to the university?
Brother, we know what the folks do with the HBCUs, brother. Like, the problem is, and we've been saying this forever, this is something we've been screaming for the longest damn time, these institutions are misrun, they are misadministered. These people here they are completely demoralized. The students go there with stars in their eyes, and before the first semester is over, they've been completely demoralized. Now, that's a problem. You don't have to have the biggest, richest school to have students who are encouraged to be there and confident to be there. You don't have to have that, damn it. You can do that with a Boy Scout troop. I'm telling you, the HBUs are failing to do with millions of dollars from the federal government, our tax dollars, what you could do with a Boy Scout troop and succeed. They're failing at. And what that means is that these places are being misrun and mismanaged. And that's inexcusable in the 21st century. You all don't contribute to the school because you don't feel you got any damn value out of it. You don't feel any camaraderie. You don't feel any kinship to it. There weren't any experiences that you felt were life-lasting and permanent and imprinted on your being. You didn't feel that. You were like, man, hand me my degree and let me get the hell up out of here. And that was all it was. Y'all are trying to forget the damn place. And what I'm saying is that's a basic failing. Deion has the attention of these young men because they've given them experiences they will remember for the rest of their lives. Hey, I was there with Coach Prime. Even if I never make it to the NFL, I was there with Coach Prime, and Coach Prime was like a father to us. Dude, that transcends a degree. That transcends that. They're going to hold their heads up high because Colorado University had the good sense to bring in Deion and say, what do you want? And we are going to restructure what we're doing to suit you. Can we just keep it a $103, y'all? Jackson State was going the damn nigger route. And I said it. Jackson State was going the nigger route. They were going the handout route. Rather than them be grateful that Deion Sanders is coming there to their backwater school, I said it. Rather than be grateful that Deion Sanders is doing them the charity of coming to their backwater school, instead, the corrupt administrators saw it as their opportunity. Oh, good, we'll sell more tickets. I can go get me another Cadillac for my side hoe. And let's just keep it real. That's what happened. They just saw it as a come up. We just going to grab a quick bag. Deion has worked in institutions that have to last for centuries. They at the HBCUs just trying to grab a damn quick bag, grab a quick buck. He'll be here for a season or two. Let's grab a quick buck and let's see if we can hold him here not on competence, but on black unity. Meanwhile, the school ain't got unity number one. Folks, what are the HBCUs doing for the community? What are they doing? Were they showing the same level of competence that Deion was? Or was Deion showing a far higher level of competence? And how long is he supposed to do that with his son? His son is at Colorado University. And he's sitting there in Jackson State with them spinning their wheels? Man, what you trying to pull telling him he needs to stay there? If he's going to miss his son graduating and playing, you're going to have to make sure that's a damn good deal. And no, it was not a good deal. No, it is Jackson State's fault. Yes, we have an endemic systemic problem of mismanagement and corruption at our HBCUs. I say our advisedly. We have a serious problem with that. It's been a serious problem. We know it's a serious problem. We do not have our best and brightest running the HBCUs. We have our dumbest, densest, and most corrupt. That's what you have. And at some point, people who are excellent want to be at an institution that is run with excellence so they can focus on being excellent, not focus on fixing everybody else's self-inflicted wounds and problems. And to tell Deion, well, you played in the NFL, so you need to be willing to give up everything you got so you can go drop it on Jackson State, whether they meet you halfway or not. You need to carry Jackson State on your back, even if they're not trying. That's wrong. That's wrong to do that. And I would have told Deion the same damn thing. You get the hell up out of there. And that's what I'm saying when I'm saying tonight. And you all can keep that and play that for years if you would like to. If the HBCUs refuse to fix themselves, and we've all watched them refuse to fix themselves now for decades, then the HBCUs need to go down the road of natural selection. Thank you very much for giving us a call. An organism that refuses to change and adapt is an organism that has forfeited its right to continue existing. And as I said, maybe if enough HBCUs go under, that'll be the wake-up call to the others. Caller from America 404, you're on live with the Black Channel. What's your name? Where you calling from?
So, Jason, this is AT from Atlanta by way of Lagos.
Okay, AT from Atlanta. What's on your mind?
Yeah, two things. I'm also a pharmacist. I know we as black people, we make up 11 to 13% of the population. Black pharmacists only make up 7 to 8% of the total pharmacists in the United States.
Well, I guess it's a start. I guess it's a start. Maybe they'll actually turn around and go support the endowments from the schools they came from. Just a thought.
Yeah. Second thing, I played college football for a major school in the Southeast. I can tell you right now, I wish I had a coach like Deion. I can tell you most black players on these teams of these major schools, most of their position coaches are black, and that's who they relate to. They don't relate to the head coach. The head coach is more so a figurehead that runs the program. But the players, they relate more to their position coaches because their position coaches are most likely the black coaches, the assistant coaches, the quality control coaches, their strength and conditioning coaches, all that.
Yeah, you spend the majority of your time
people
with those positions you just named there and stuff, the strength and conditioning coaches and the rest of them. Those are the ones that don't get as much play or as much notoriety and attention. But you're right. The athletes are going to spend the majority of their time with them. They're not going to spend the majority of their time with the head coach. They're just not. So when you got, and so the head coaches don't really have an incentive to do anything except recruit people or whatever. So when they do get a chance to have a head coach who takes a real interest in them, that's rare, man. It's rare.
I'll tell you a story. My head coach at the program, I don't want to, I can send you the information if you want me to, but I had a head coach, sort of like a devout Christian kind of dude. He would keep track of the players that went to this all-white, non-denominational church thing, and he would keep attendance of the players who went and didn't go. And for the players that didn't go, it wasn't frowned upon per se, but you can tell that he felt some kind of way when you elected not to go to this church on Sunday. And like you said, it's a school. They can't make you go, but best believe they were keeping attendance of the players that were going and the ones that weren't going.
Yeah. You're right.
Kid you not.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And like I say, you know, you don't have these young men responding this way for nothing. I mean, Deion's brought the hype, yeah, but you're not going to be able to maintain that momentum if he's not the real deal with him. Eventually, the real thing's going to come out. Time will tell in that regard, but at least on first blush, what we're seeing now, he's making sure that they understand he's invested in them. Because the other thing is, what they understand, Jackson State, at least the kids there understood, Deion didn't have to come here. Jackson State trying to act like they were entitled to have him. You black athletes need to give back. No, you HBCUs need to give back. The kids at Colorado University, they know Deion didn't have to come there. They're the ones who really understand it because they're like, you can't really brag about being from Colorado University. You can brag about being from LSU. You can brag about being from Alabama, the SEC. You can brag about being from Florida. When's the last time somebody bragged about being from Colorado's college football systems? Now you got one where they can. So they understand, dude, he would have gone anywhere else. He could have gone anywhere he wanted to. He chose us. We better appreciate this. And just right there, they're showing that they're better than Jackson State administrators were.
And you're right. I've taken some of the young men that I mentor on college football visits to some of these HBCUs, and the abysmal state of the facilities, you wouldn't
even... Okay, it sounds like his audio got cut. Are you still there? Okay, it's showing his line is still open, but his audio's been cut. Well, that's okay. Thank you very much for giving us a call here tonight. Like I say here, folks, I mean, when you're the Rolls Royce of the culture, you also don't hang out at the wrecking yard. That's one more thing. Deion's the Rolls Royce. He has no place hanging out at the wrecking yard. The wrecking yard needs to clean up its damn act and start looking like a Rolls Royce dealership. People, when somebody parks a Rolls Royce in front of your house, if you want to keep the Rolls Royce, you better start making your house look like a Rolls Royce belongs there. You're not entitled to it. If somebody parks a Rolls Royce in front of your house, you better start making the changes necessary to make it look like that Rolls Royce belongs to you. Otherwise, don't be surprised if it gets up and rolls off, or if somebody rolls it away. In any case, I want to thank everyone who has contributed to support tonight's program on CashApp, Super Chat, Venmo. Big shout out here to DeAndre Mosley, Clips, Queen Now, Creole King, and everybody else. If you are new here to the Black Channel, welcome to the haven of intelligent black thought. We do this every weekend. Click that red subscribe button. Click that yellow notification bell. Join us each and every time that we're here. If you haven't been to our website, blackchannelfilms.com, you want to go and check out our groundbreaking best-selling documentary work, 7 a.m. Gentrified Race War, All available on DVD and streaming. Go to blackchannelfilms.com. That is blackchannelfilms.com. I want to thank all of you for joining us on tonight's program. Thank you to those of you who liked the program. I definitely appreciate that, because that shows people that even though YouTube suppresses us in the algorithm, when they see 5,000 people watching and 3,000 people liked it, that conveys to them, hey, this is something they want to tune into. Thank you all for liking, subscribing, and sharing. And this concludes this broadcast of The Black Channel. I am your host, your brother, your humble servant, the Black Authority. And until next time, my brothers and my sisters from around the world, remember, black is the future, and the future is excellence.